Similarly, he's up by 15,000 plus votes, 65.7% to 32.7%. 2% of the vote in Kentucky is in Kentucky. In Indiana, the votes are coming in, John King, very, very early, but totally expected in these two red states.
They are, Wolf. Come on over. We get to count votes, which is fun. This is Kentucky. You see some counties coming in, and for the Democrats, the first time tonight. You see some blue. Is it significant? We don't know yet. It's early, but we'll take a look at it. This is Anderson County, south of Frankfort. A little suburban area here. It gets more rural as you go south. Joe Biden, again, 20% of the voted, 18% there. So don't jump to conclusions. And this is going to happen all night. We ask for your patience, right? This is an early vote count. It's just coming in. Other states are going to release, they're going to count the mail-in votes first, or the absentee votes first. Other states are going to flip that and do those last. So we're going to bounce around a little bit throughout the night. We ask your patience. But you look at this, Anderson County, Kentucky, state we fully expect will be Donald Trump red at the end of the night. Joe Biden up. If you go back to 2016, this is a county Donald Trump carried by a huge margin, 50 points essentially, 4 years ago. So it's a place you watch, right? You're looking to see. Again, the results here are early. We have no idea. This could be one Democratic precinct. This could be early votes. We got a long way to go. But it's one of the things we will watch when we see aberrations on the map. When you see blue, where there's traditionally been red, you see red where there's traditionally been blue, you go and you take a look at your study. You look at it on the map, we talk to our reporters. So something to watch, again, because it's one of the suburban counties south of Frankfurt. We know the suburbs did turn on Donald Trump in 2018. But we'll watch that, see if it stays blue, see what the margins are in the end, see if it is a clue what might come in other states as well. You see right now, statewide in Kentucky right now, Donald Trump opening 2% in, but opening, again, you see 67% there just for fun. 62% was his lead back in 2016.
Oh.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah. You're echoing though.
Huh?
You're echoing.
Okay, am I still echoing?
No. You're fine now.
Yeah?
Yeah. I wanted to invite Costa.
Yeah, invite him.
And my
Huh? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, just making sure. Yeah, log on, go into our YouTube so you can see it live as well.
Is it on YouTube as well?
Yeah, so go into the live.
Yeah, hold on a second.
So go to YouTube, our homepage. It should be there. Just trying to.
Maybe that's where the echo is coming from, isn't it?
No. Has the echo not stopped?
It stopped. Did you mute it?
Yeah. I've muted because I'm using 2 laptops, and I'm also filming. Can you not see I'm filming my TV?
No, you can. Yeah.
Yeah. So one laptop is doing that. Costa, you've got to show your face.
What's up, guys?
How are you doing?
Hey, Costa Rica.
How are you, man?
I'm good, you know. Yourself?
What do you mean it's tight, man?
When the race is tight, you can't call it right now. Do you understand?
What do you mean you can't call it?
What do you mean you can't call it? Because the thing is that Joe Biden needs to win Florida and a couple of the swing states to even stand a chance.
Florida, man. Come on. If he doesn't win Florida, it must be rigged. There's no way.
This guy says if he doesn't win Florida, it's rigged.
They're like grandpas and grandmas in Florida. Everyone knows that. All the retirees goes to Florida. And they don't like Donald Trump because they're dying like crazy over there, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying there's still a lot of Republicans in Florida that will still vote Republicans regardless of what happens, right? So
True.
I think you got to understand that party lines have been drawn in most of the states. It's only like a few independents that are swinging this one way or the other, but party lines have been drawn massively.
Wow.
So no matter how you think, Donald Trump is doing so badly, it's still getting a lot of support because the Republicans are going to vote Republicans.
No way. No flipping
Yeah.
way.
So Florida now, I think the votes not really come in, but I think it's was it 20%?
Where
Or
are you watching this? Where are you watching? I see CNN. Where are you watching that CNN from?
From my, I say up here.
Okay, cool.
Where's Alex?
I don't know.
Hold on, let me call him.
Well, are you guys going to work tomorrow?
I'm going in the afternoon, so
Dude, are you going to work tomorrow, Manu? Huh?
No, I'm working from home, you know.
No, that's not my question. Are you actually working from home tomorrorow?
Yeah.
Bro, this is on YouTube, you know?
where are you?
Huh?
Man, what are you talking about?
I'll call you, bro. I'm getting on now.
You're getting on, yeah? Did you see the link from Rich?
Yeah.
All right, can you join, yeah? Ah, bro.
And be honest, right? I was shocked when Donald Trump won the first one, but this one.
No, this one he's lost it. Trust me.
No.
Guys,
I got money on this one. I got money on this one, bro.
guys,
I didn't even put money, you know, but I know he's lost it. What's
guys,
that?
you can't be this confident.
No.
I'm confident.
Let me tell you one thing.
What makes you confident? Seriously.
Look, honestly, like the voting totals this time around has already reached 95% of the voting totals in 2016, and that's before that's before people were casting votes today. So they're gonna break records. They're gonna break records here. The Democrats are out this time.
How is that favoring the Democrats?
Because we're seeing a lot of new voters and new young voters. We're seeing a lot of ethnic minorities coming out this time. That coalition that took Obama to the office of the presidency is actually coming out this time for Biden. I'm telling you, we can bet this. We can all bet here, right here. Honestly, like I don't mind. Let's bet £1,000. Easy.
How can I bet when I agree with you, bro?
You agree?
Okay, I'm gonna bet otherwise. Yeah.
I totally agree with you. And do you know what, right? I think over the Brexit, right? I called it. Yeah. The last election, I called it. I even said, and I was telling this to a lot of people, they didn't.
Yeah.
Including Mano, he didn't buy it. But let me tell you, this time around, this guy's gonna lose. And I actually think that the Democrats are going to take some Senate seats as well.
No. They're flipping the Senate. They're flipping it. It's a wave. They're flipping it. I think if the minimum they're going to do is they will flip it where the vice president will be the one casting the deciding vote at a minimum.
You think they'll have 50-50?
Yeah, at a minimum.
Yeah. Right.
Because, bruh, let me tell you, right? COVID changed a lot of things.
Right.
If it wasn't for COVID, right, I wouldn't be surprised if Donald Trump won. I'll still.
Of course, he destroyed his own chances. I'm sorry.
But COVID changes a lot of things, bro. Only the hardcore core, right, who would never change anyway, regardless, who vote for Trump. And those that haven't been affected by COVID would vote for Trump. But I think you'll really struggle to find a lot of people who haven't been affected by Donald Trump.
Guys, my brother-in-law, Amy
is he on?
Huh?
Is he on now?
Yeah, he's coming in.
You want me to invite?
He's just saying he's coming.
You want me to invite a few people? I got people in my group. I got people in my political group. Do you want me to invite them?
Yeah, one or two. You don't want too many because you still want to have your opinion, right? If it's too many, it's gonna be too messy.
Yeah, it won't be a lot to all us.
Yeah. So I think we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Emmanuel, you said you've got someone coming.
Yeah, I'm just seeing a text from her. She's with her. She's trying to sort out her kids and stuff, so she's not sure if she will make it, but she will try. But it's all good. We're here. Where's what's his name?
Rich,
Bishop.
Alex, yeah, it's coming soon.
Yeah?
He said he's gonna dial in.
Okay, let's go. Let's go.
So what's the map looking like? I think we need to break down what happened in 2016 versus what's gonna happen now.
Okay, so wait 1 second.
Sorry, guys. Is the do you have the link for this, Emmanuel, on YouTube?
Yeah. Let me send it to Emmanuel, and then he can send it to you.
The YouTube link, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'd like them to see what's happening before they join.
Is it just More Talk London, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm sending the thing to you, Emmanuel.
Yeah.
So send it to Costa. Have you sent it?
Hold on. But if you join YouTube, you can't join the Zoom thing, can you?
Of course you can, but just mute your YouTube.
Yeah, otherwise it will mess up your audios.
I know, but I'm saying that you can't participate because you're on YouTube, right?
Of course you can. I've got YouTube running on my mobile phone.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you see as a screen like this? Can you see?
Yeah, I see everybody.
And can you be part of it? Can you be part of it?
What do you mean?
Can you have your own screen on there? Unless you join them.
No, you've got to join
the.
Yeah, so they're just watching us live.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So if you look, that's us.
Right.
Yeah. Look.
Can you see as a screen like this? Can you see?
Yeah. Look now. I can see everybody.
I can see. I'm on
and
YouTube
can you
right
be part
now.
of it?
Yeah.
Can you be part of it?
What do you mean?
Can you have your own screen on there?
Remember that Zoom is gonna have a delay though. So remember that.
Yeah.
20-second delay. So they're just watching us live.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So
It's a bit delayed.
if you look, that's us.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Look.
Can you see as a screen like this? Can you see?
Yeah. Look now. I can see everybody.
I can see. I'm on
And
YouTube
can you
right
be
now.
part of it? Can you be part of it?
What do you mean?
Can you have your own screen on there?
Bro, what are you
Guys,
saying?
in Kentucky, what the hell? Okay, so early days. It's so early days.
What would that tell you? Would that tell you? My man started.
This is a Republican state, right?
Territory. My man has started. It has begun.
There's no way that could go to Democrats.
Guys,
so basically in 2016.
Sorry, man. Does anyone have a link on CNN?
No, just go to CNN's website now.
All right. Okay. Cool. Thanks.
But this Emmanuel, this is recording, right? You're recording this.
No, we're just live. I'm not recording.
Okay, but it's still gonna be like it's still gonna stay on our page.
It should be online now. Okay, here we go.
I can say later.
Join us, more talk London, isn't it? More Talk London.
Yep.
More Talk London live. What's Alex doing? Yo.
I can't join in. You know that, right?
Why?
It's not letting me in. You say waiting for the host to start the meeting.
You're using mine. You're not using Rich's one. You need to use Rich's one.
So you should use the last link I sent.
The last link Rich's thing. No, not the last link, not the YouTube one. Yeah. You know what? Let me just copy what the right one is here and send it to you individually, personally. So Hold on a second. Are you on your laptop now?
Yo, guys, I think they might be calling Florida.
No, they can't call Florida. On
Exit
what?
polls, exit polls.
They're still counting. It's only like
I think they're doing there's a poll. Someone's just sent me. Biden is leading by 1 percentage point.
Alex, go copy that link to your computer and just click on it. Or you can go to your thing and join meeting. You see that number 306 something, yeah? That, huh?
Also, you're quite dark, you know, like your lighting. Is your light not on?
Are you looking at your chat right now?
I'm looking at my phone.
Yeah, so that I just sent you to your personal WhatsApp, yeah? 306.
Okay, and where's the password then?
Yeah, the password is in our group. The password is. You seen it?
Oh, password, no.
In our group, in a motor group.
Oh, that's the password.
Yeah, 7 something, yeah.
Okay.
Hello? What's he saying?
Yeah, it's coming in. I think it's still.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alex, it's in the password, yeah?
Hold on 1 minute. No, 1 minute. The password incorrect, man.
I'll tell you what, why didn't you see that link here? If you copy it to your email.
What's the problem? You should just click on it.
He can't, he wants to, he's using, because he's sending it through WhatsApp, you have to copy it to your email because he's using his laptop. Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're using your laptop, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me email you the link because when you click on the link, it can go straight in. You don't need the password.
Right. So send it to
Huh?
Okay, let's get this show on the road. Come on.
Shut up, man.
Alex,
Who's that?
Alex has been a bimbo. He doesn't know how to.
Alex, you've been a bad boy. Gidigba, we move.
What's your email address again?
I'm sending it to you right now. 1 minute.
Alex has been a bimbo. He doesn't know how to use it.
You're funny, ain't you?
Okay, someone else just joined. Was in the waiting room.
Is it Emmy?
Yeah, Emmy. Yeah.
Alex, this is not an email. What's this? vkitchen.com. Where's the email address in there?
Where's the email address?
It can't be the email address.
Yes, it is.
What is the full email address?
Hang on 1 second.
It's something at kitchen.com, yeah, but I just got vkitchen.com.
Where are we? What's going on, people? I'm so excited. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so Amy was just joined. Amy, we can't see you. I wanted to introduce you to the guys.
Emmy, we need to see you.
Hey guys.
Hi. Your video.
Yeah, I'm trying to turn it on. I've got a problem. Just a moment.
Right.
Sorry. Okay.
Alex, what's your email address now?
Calm down, man. I'll go send it to you now.
Yeah, that's it. That's more like it.
What is wrong with you people today?
It's an election day, bro.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure that the lighting is all right. Does it look all right, Costa?
Well, it looks better than mine. One thing for sure. Unlike my first time on YouTube, unlike other people,
Oh, it's your first time on YouTube.
Yeah, you guys are like pros. Okay, you guys have you guys have put some special lighting. This is better now, right?
Yeah, that's much better, much better.
It's like what, 1:45 in the morning, so I think it's fine. I can get away with streaming from bed.
Of course you can.
Are you working tomorrow?
Who, me?
No, I'm talking to the guys online.
Actually, I've taken a day off tomorrow.
Is it? I told my boss, yeah, I'm coming in at 2:00.
At least you're pretty frank about it. I might go to work around afternoon as well because I need to buy some stuff before lockdown kicks in.
And my work, yeah, I can go at any time, so I don't have a set time, right?
Oh yeah.
So I can do work pretty much. But I said to her, look, I'm not gonna be there in the morning. I'm gonna be there.
I can't stay forever though. I'll have to. I think sometime after 1, I'll have to.
Yeah, but at least wait for the results to start coming in, isn't it?
Yeah, Trump has already got one, right?
Yeah, Trump's got Indiana, I think. Yeah.
Yeah,
but that was always a red state. But I think what would be interesting, right, is what was the margin last time round for that one?
Yeah.
That's a good point, let me tell you.
The margin last time was like 70. It was in the 70s, but it's 60s now. So
yeah, you see that's what I'm saying. That shouldn't be such a difference over a 4-year period, especially for someone who's already an incumbent.
Okay, so last time Indiana, we had where are we? Hillary Clinton. Okay, so Indiana, he won it by 56%, 56.8.
Yeah, and he's 62 now. So
he's 62.
Wow. Okay,
I think the number of votes cast in Indiana was like 2.5 million. So this has a long way to go.
Well, I mean, what's the percentage now?
The percentage now for Kentucky is 62%, but they've only counted 146,000 votes though. So there's still more to come.
So why on CNN are they saying that it's already gone to Donald Trump then?
Yeah, because they're using polling data. So they're using polling data, but they're also counting the votes, the actual votes that the Electoral Commission for Indiana is passing over to them. So that's not the final result.
So right.
I think it's early prediction, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, it's because I don't know about your CNN, the CNN that you're watching, right? But the one that I'm got here at my place is actually putting 11 delegates on Donald Trump.
Mine.
So it's polling. That's just polling. That's not the exact result yet. They have like 2 million votes to count or over.
Okay. So I just got confused there because I thought that was
Emmy.
We lost Emmy, right?
Yeah. It's coming back. I've been drinking. I've already finished a bottle of champagne. I think I need to open another one.
You're celebrating already, bro.
Bro, look,
you might
I've got this already.
No, I can't do that, man. I can't do that.
You can't. Why? You have to.
I'm working tomorrow, bro.
Man, you have to say.
You're right, Emmy.
Hey guys.
How are you?
Welcome, buddy.
Good, Emmanuel.
How you doing?
Costa.
Hey,
Hi,
I was going to introduce you. So you know Costa.
yeah,
And
of course.
Emmanuel, my pally. And yeah, and you know Costa.
I'm gonna call you Coco, right?
Exactly. Wing, you know.
What?
Coco I'm Coco. So you don't mispronounce that, you know.
Right.
They call me Coco.
Okay.
We're waiting for a couple more, and we're just
Okay.
gonna see how the night goes and run through these results, you know.
All right. It's a pleasure joining you guys. I've heard a lot of great things. Keep up the good work.
I'm a guest here. First time here. First time.
You're a guest.
Yeah. So
You're throwing out that disclaimer right up front, huh?
exactly. You might as well know from the word go that if you're hearing some awkward moments, some silence, it's just because there's a new entrance into the group right now.
No worries. It affects all of us. It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I think it's that time to start sending the link out to your friends, the YouTube link. Emmanuel, send it to everyone. Let them send it to their friends. It's time.
Everyone is sleeping, mate. You know,
No, they're not.
It's like it's 9 minutes to 1 right now.
I've got, look, mate, this is the time now.
You see the clock on CNN, right?
Eh?
Like when they say the next polls close, right? Once that goes,
I'm there.
I think I'll call it a night.
Yeah.
Yo, Bishop, man. What's going on?
You just some fool ass dude, man. What's wrong
What's
with
going
you?
on?
What's up with your hair, man?
What up with your hair?
You should look crazy for real.
What up with your hair?
What have you got on your hair, mate? That's the question.
Yeah. What with your hair?
Why does a do-rag? That shit right there look like some shit stuck on his head.
Yeah?
What is that?
What's in your own business?
I'm just curious. I want to.
Well, what is your business? It's called hair. Look.
Wow.
Hey,
Yeah.
What they call that these days?
Yeah, yeah. You didn't know that.
Serious stuff. So Bishop, Emio, Bishop.
Who's Amy? Which is Amy? Amy's the one at the far end?
Right yeah. Emio.
Okay.
Whoa, the champagne.
What? Mano plans to get drunk tonight.
You know?
Then you wake up the next morning and it's Donald Trump the winner. I'll be laughing my ass.
Oh man!
You know what? If that happens, yeah. Oh my God, I don't even know what I'm
coming
gonna
to an
do.
end. If that happens,
I don't know what I'm gonna do. You know,
I'm telling you.
If that happens, the world is coming to an end. Believe that,
mate.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. You know,
if Donald wins, it's a wrap.
If he wins, yeah, you know, I carried on the last, I'll say last.
So, guys, Vermont has been. I think we should start. Vermont has been called for Biden. 3 electoral college votes. So, how are we feeling about this right now? Vermont has been called.
That's expected, right?
Yeah,
that's expected.
However, anything could have happened.
Not really.
No, not really.
Sorry, guys. Are you sure those are expected, though? The ones that are.
Vermont is expected, guaranteed.
I mean, Vermont. If I check to see by how much he won it the last time, Vermont was Hillary Clinton 56.6%.
How many votes you got for that?
That was 178,000 for Donald Trump. 1 second.
Where are you getting all these figures from? You know, be interesting to see.
Look, we know what we're doing. You know, it's like the hair of my head.
Exactly.
We know what we're doing.
I don't. So I need some enlightenment here.
Fam, have you ever heard of Wikipedia?
Yeah, but you can't always trust what's on Wikipedia, man.
No. There are some things you can actually kind of have an idea. You know.
Go to Wikipedia right now, then.
Go to Wikipedia.
Results page. If you Google live election results,
And yeah, and then there's Google Live. Yes, there is.
Okay.
I think we need a female voice, right?
Yeah, we're not balanced here.
I know.
Costa, you always look for balance, ain't you?
so Emmanuel,
Yeah.
Emmanuel, it's showing 12% reporting for Vermont. Is that the whole count, or is that 12%?
I think it's still early, isn't it?
No, the reason I say so, right, is because they've
But
called,
what he said is
they've called Florida, right? And yet they haven't added Florida's delegates on the count. Yet when what I'm seeing from Google Live now, I'm seeing 16 for Joe Biden and 13.
Yeah, and Joe Biden has won Virginia. Joe Biden is winning in Virginia.
Winning? What's the vote count?
No, not winning. He's won. So that's 13 electoral votes. 13 electoral votes in.
Oh, who's leading on the college now? Electoral college now. Who's winning on that?
So
it's not really called yet, is it?
Let's just.
The numbers are already there. The stacks already there.
Sorry?
Already got 11 from Indiana.
Guys, I'm sharing my screen, right? I'm sharing my screen so that you can see what I'm seeing. I hope it makes sense. Right. So this is just straight from Google. Right?
Yeah.
Now, you see, Florida is still blue here, but it's not counting as part of the 16, I think.
Because Florida is not small. Florida is big. It's not a small county. So there's Broward County. There's other counties that need to be counted first.
All right.
Maybe it's one a small portion of the county.
It's saying 80% reporting. What does that mean?
That means 80% of all the precincts have reported their votes.
Their votes. Maybe
so I think we can predict that Florida is going to go to Joe Biden.
Oh.
Florida is going to Joe Biden, and if he takes Florida, it's game over. That's it. He takes Florida, it's over. And if he keeps if he takes Pennsylvania back, that's it.
Donald is still leading in Florida.
Sorry?
Donald is still leading in Florida.
No. I think Biden will take Florida.
Yeah, but it's because of the counties, they are Republican counties where they're counting, because even though they're saying this, they're already labeling it blue here.
It's already labeled as
yeah.
It's already labeled as a Biden win. So if he wins that, it's a wrap. And then if he takes back Pennsylvania, it's very difficult to see what path Donald Trump has towards getting back into the White House. I mean, he must be quite scared right now, because
so what I don't understand is that what is this 16 being represented here?
Those are probably states that probably Vermont, probably Vermont and Virginia.
Electoral college, isn't it?
Probably Vermont and Virginia.
How many was Virginia?
I think Virginia has, 11 or 13.
Okay, this is probably those two. But
so I think it's those.
Donald Trump is Indiana. What's the other one that gives him 22?
I think he's won in either Iowa or New Hampshire.
Okay.
Or is it Kentucky? One of those three states. Those are probably states that Okay, somebody's got their YouTube on. You need to mute.
He's on mute.
Guys, join us on YouTube. More Talk London. More Talk London.
Okay.
It's even closer than I was expecting.
Exactly.
Well, which one's that?
Which one is that?
I'm just looking at, even if it's 80% that's been counted and that's been predominantly.
It's very no. It's going to be tight.
No,
Florida is going to be
very
like tight.
Now it's changed the color again. Now they're thinking it's looking more red. Florida.
Yeah, well, Donald just got 1 point up. He got one more vote counted.
Florida is going to.
No, it just goes. That's just 0.1.
Florida's going to go back and forth. It's not going to. I think it's a tight race in Florida.
What are they showing at the moment? 81% reported, so they're not done yet.
That would be an interesting one.
It'll be a very interesting one.
Yeah, because I said, to me, Florida is like a decider, man. Florida is like a decider.
I think Trump needs to hold Florida and he needs to hold Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. If he doesn't, There's no path for him to the presidency unless he can take big states like California, which is not going to happen.
So in terms of predictions, are we all predicting Biden win?
I predict a Biden win.
Who amongst us is what I say, the sheep of the black sheep of the of tonight? Who can put their neck up and say, yeah, Trump's gonna win? None of us.
No. I think actually, do you know what? Trump has a path. If he can hold on to Pennsylvania, there is a path. However, if he loses North Carolina as well, then it's going to be very difficult.
If he loses North Carolina, it's over for him in Pennsylvania.
It's going to be very difficult for him to win, even if he wins Florida and he wins Texas and Georgia. Because I think they said Texas was in play, but I'm not too sure whether...
Texas is not a decider.
No, they've got like 33 electoral college votes. Or is it 38?
36.
Is it 36? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Texas is not a decider.
Texas.
No, if Joe Biden can flip Texas, his path becomes even wider.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
where are we right now?
I think Trump is still leading 22 electoral college.
Yeah, it's early nights, bro.
It's long. This is gonna be all night. So you brace yourself.
So I'm watching I don't know who watches Roland Martin. I like Roland Martin.
He has some really.
Yeah, let me because I want to hear his take because he's got some good insights.
Roland Martin is off the chart.
I wonder if Google Live is reliable. Showing Alabama as one, all red, but only 0% reporting.
Okay, if Kentucky is looking like it's that close, then something blue is gonna happen tonight.
But how many reported so far? I think don't get carried away. That's why I don't.
Well, let's see.
Yeah, the color coding is quite confusing.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
And dark blue is 1, and yet none of them is over 50% reporting.
Exactly.
Donald Trump actually flipped a lot of states last time round, right? Because I'm just looking. I don't know if you guys can see my screen from last election, right?
Yeah.
He flipped Pennsylvania, like you said, Ohio, Michigan. What's this one called? Wisconsin. And Iowa and Florida. That was a lot of flips he did there.
Yeah. He would just say somebody just came like a tornado and swept through America.
Yeah. He did very well, actually.
Nice. What did very well where?
No, because the way the states that
flipping.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He flipped Michigan, Wisconsin, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Florida, and that was his key to success.
Because he still lost the popular vote, and he still won college and he won.
Yeah.
Guys, what do you think about the tactics from the Republican Party to suppress vote in this election? I find that
was abhorrent. That was abhorrent.
I find that if Donald Trump wins and the Republicans win, I don't know. I just feel like it's an end to democracy. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Of course it is. Of course it is. I mean, look, at the end of the day.
I want to hear Amy's thing. What do you think? If Donald Trump wins, there's no more America. Democracy is dead.
Well,
do you think that as well?
Yeah. But the sad thing is,
we just lose Emmy there.
Emmy, you're freezing.
Yeah, I think he's frozen.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, go on.
Okay. I was saying that, unfortunately, good point, Bishop. People can argue that the U.S. is not really a democracy
It's more of a democratic republic. So being the only path to electing a president is, it's a legal argument. Electoral college has to be respected because it's a republic and not really a democracy.
Right.
So at the end of the day, it boils down to either abolish the electoral college or we need to stop calling the United States a democracy.
Yeah.
They need to abolish that electoral college. I think that is the way forward because it just caused a lot of confusion and a whole bunch of nonsense.
I was even hearing that the Constitution in America is not a democratic document enough to even join the EU. You know,
Really? Where'd you hear that one?
You hear that one?
Huh?
This guy's been listening. This guy's been listening to Femi. This guy.
I'm
You've been
not.
listening too much to Femi, bro.
No, I'm not. I'm telling you that the Constitution as it exists today
Yeah.
is not good enough to apply and enter the European Union. I shared the video with you. What's it called? Bishops. It's what's that guy? It's an actor. I was giving was calling on the moderate Democrats, saying that the moderate Democrats needs to stand.
Oh, I know. I saw that video.
I
saw that video.
Democracy because
yeah,
you know they just sleepwalking because they support the same corporate interests as the Republican, and therefore they're letting the Republicans just ruin democracy for everyone. And we're still following a document that was done in donkey years ago and hasn't really been updated
or made to fit the purpose of the modern day.
Yeah, exactly. And we're still following the same constitution.
In order to do that, though, you need to have both houses, and you need to have a strong mandate.
And I think a majority of the states.
So that's like you talk about reconstruction again. I don't think America want to do that.
America's not ready for that.
No.
Another reconstruction. You know how long the 60s one, that one was problematic in the first place.
Yeah. If America did that, I think it's heading to another civil war because the Republican states are not going to have it. They know the only path to them getting elected is through
the electoral
college.
Yeah.
Coco, you're talking about the electoral college?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but the United States so many amendments to the Constitution, and all they would need to do is amend it. It's not a major change. So
yeah, but it's a fundamental change, isn't it? To the way a president and is elected. So that's massive.
Yeah, but more than likely, that. So it's really about having a good PR game to promote why for the nation. If they can do a good PR job, it'll work.
Something the Democrats are not good at.
Unfortunately, that's true.
The Democrats are the worst at PR. I swear. I actually admire the.
But are you sure they are the worst at PR? Or do they have? Look, let me tell you something. Remember that what you see in public is one thing. What these people do in private and what they, the agreements they make amongst themselves, that's a completely different ball game entirely.
Well, let me tell you what.
Because it's like they play this yin and yang kind of game. So the Republicans will do all these harsh things, and then the Democrats will come in and kind of smooth everything over. So we can pretend as though democracy is still alive. So whatever the Republicans do, whether it's Bill Clinton, whether it's Obama after Bush, it's like they smooth the system. So we all have faith again in democracy. But then 4 years later or 8 years later, the Republicans come back again and do what they did before the last time. And then we're back at square one. So really, if you think about it, whose interests are the Democrats always exactly pursuing, or whose interests are they protecting? Because the Republicans will tell you who they're for. They're for big business.
Yeah.
They'll tell you we're for big business. Low taxes, tax cuts. They claim they want small government, but they don't, because many of the red states are poor and they depend on government handouts.
Yeah, I think the reason the Democrats are very weak is because they try to play middle game all the time, please everyone, right? So they can't come out harshly against and be the bad. They can't be seen to be the bad people. Like they don't say anything too extreme. They try to toe the line. You get what I mean?
They used to be like, they used to be the extreme before, you know.
They used to. I mean, we don't talk about that anymore. But we talk about today's Democratic Party. They try to have these tentacles that reaches everyone, right? And they just wanna stay in the middle and please everyone and appear to be the nice ones out of the bunch.
But I think that's how you get power, though. I think if you go on the far extremes, it's very hard to bring people together.
But Costa, you say that, but I'm telling you, the Republicans have been running power. Look at the state's legislatures and the courts.
Yeah, I mean, they are doing that right now. So Donald Trump came and changed that, right?
No, even before Donald Trump came, the Tea Party, when the Tea Party...
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so that's a weakness of Obama then, because he was in power. What was he doing?
That's what I mean by the Democrats. We're going back in circles to understand why the Democrats are so weak. Because the Tea Party came and they've been winning power. If you look at how they've consolidated power at the lower level, I'm not talking about the presidency. I'm not talking about the Senate. I'm not even talking about the House of Rep. I'm talking about the lower courts and the state legislatures.
Yeah, but you see, if you're weak, huh? So that's just the way you're weak. So if they're being weak, then they deserve to be dominated, right? That's just the way life is.
But what I'm saying is that the Republicans, they own it on their own harshness and their own bigotry, and they go for it. They say to you say to them, "Oh, there's a video of you being an hypocrite about court appointment." It's like, so, yeah, you know.
Look, at the end of the day, they don't care.
They don't care.
They don't care.
That's what I call the core ruthlessness of power.
Of course.
And they've used that attitude to consolidate power. And it's going to take a while for Democrats to even catch up to the kind of power Republicans have.
Can they even ever catch up?
You guys check something.
What's happening?
Trump is considered very eccentric and far right. And he's taken over the party. And Bernie's opposite, far left. Why do we feel Trump was able to win being far right, but almost everyone feels Bernie did not stand a chance?
Yeah,
I think Bernie didn't have any sort of charisma. He chimed with the young, and especially the eco warriors and the climate change activists and whatnot, but he had no charisma. He didn't chime with the right demographics, and I mean that's it, pure and simple. He has no, and he just purely has. He doesn't have charisma. He's like one of those intellectuals, that you find in your university. That knows everything, but still knows nothing.
Guys, do you think that's by design? Even that's by design.
You know what? Nothing would surprise me.
So what Emmanuel is saying is that if Bernie had more charisma, then he could become more mainstream in spite of being far left.
Of course, because come on, think about Trump. Trump, we say, was far right. But before he entered politics, before he decided to run for the presidency under the Republican banner, would you have considered him far right?
No, Trump was a liberal.
He was a liberal. I wouldn't have considered him far right. I mean, he had some far-fetched views, but would I say he was far right? No.
Trump was
Donald Trump changed his persona to suit the electorate that he needed to elect him. That's what he did.
Emmanuel, Trump has never been a liberal, ever.
Huh?
Look, when we say liberal, I don't mean liberal in the sense of the literal word liberal, but Trump was not a far right. Look, no one can tell me Trump was a far right person. He wasn't far right. I'm sorry.
Trump supported Democrats, even gave money to Hillary.
He changed in the 80s, who did he support?
Yeah.
He even supported Kamala Harris in California. What are we talking about? He supported Kamala.
one thing you guys need to know about Trump. Trump does everything for his own benefits. So
Yeah, that's fine. We know this. That's why I said he changed.
Let me say this.
Sure.
Let me say this.
He's not liberal or conservative. He's just an opportunist. Basically, that's his own category.
Exactly. So Trump is never, ever been a liberal. He supported Kamala Harris because he's something beneficial for him.
But at the end of the day, he wasn't far right. No way.
Far right, man. You don't know
He's
him.
not far. How was he far right? Okay, explain to me how Donald Trump was a far right person like the Ku Klux Klan is far right. Go on, tell me how.
Right. Even before the 80s is how he started stuff that he did. That's what far right extremists' ways of thinking.
What did no explain to me what he did. What did he do? You're not giving specifics.
Let me jump in here because I'm the one that said far right. So I feel part of the problem. For instance, I don't consider myself a Democrat or a Republican. I'm an independent person. I feel America will be most healthy if and whenever a majority of the country becomes independent because of human nature. But for now, classifying people as Republican or Democrat, liberal or conservative is oversimplifying things. And there are many people that fall in between, which is where Trump is. And people that are very choose to be conservative today and liberal tomorrow, to Bishop's points. So at the end of the day, people just have to make decisions based on the qualities of a person. That's my opinion on that.
Yeah, because I think, look, Trump changed his persona to suit the electorate in the Republican Party that he needed to get himself elected. I don't even think that he had any kind of particular views on anything. He speaks, and I don't think he even thinks about. He speaks out of emotions. So he sees a news article on the on the TV. He decides to comment. He's not going to sit there and analyze it fully before he says, oh, I've taken this position or that position.
I think exactly how Trump is. You see, when he goes to his rally and he says something and the crowd starts cheering, it will like, oh, you like that?
You like that?
It will just dig deep in it. Keep going, because he just goes with what the popular opinion, whatever gives him the kind of love and attention that he deserves.
Okay, look at yesterday. What you're saying happened yesterday with Fauci.
It happened yesterday.
And it happened yesterday.
He mentioned one thing. He's like, oh, yeah, you like that? Like, this guy is just mad.
So, at the end of the day, look, the Democrats, I think there's a risk for them in the next election cycle. There's a very, very big risk because Joe Biden, I don't know if he will serve out his entire 4-year term because it does seem like his faculties are not 100%.
If he wins,
faculties 100%.
No, his faculties are not 100%. Because when you did you listen to him yesterday when he was in Scranton? Is it Scranton in Penn State? Somewhere near Pittsburgh or wherever it was. But he was in Scranton, where he says he was born.
Yeah, that's what.
And he was mixing up. He was mixing up different names. He was mixing up like even the logo on his top, and it makes you wonder. This man is 77 years old, right? I think he probably has about 2 years in the presidency, and Kamala takes over. But Kamala also, if she ran for president in the next election cycle, the Democrats will lose. They will lose the election.
That will happen, definitely.
Why do you say that?
She will lose because during the primaries, you could see very clearly that Kamala does not have the support of the right demographics to be elected. She doesn't. She's only lucky that Biden chose her, but it doesn't increase her star power. It doesn't increase her pulling power. Like, she's not determining whether Biden gets elected. When Obama was running, Biden helped him to solidify the votes amongst the white Americans, especially the working class.
Yeah, exactly.
Kamala Harris does not bring. She brings nothing. In fact, I'm surprised and shocked that he picked. I would have thought he would pick Stacey Abrams from Georgia.
Yeah,
Because
so
that would have been a perfect match.
Emmanuel, we talked about this because I said that she's not bringing out the black vote. Like,
Nope.
I don't know whoever thought that Kamala will bring out the. She's seen as someone in the black community as an outsider.
Of course.
But saying that, that's
Mhm.
purely to black men, because to black women, she might be viewed differently.
I think it's across. I don't think it's just black men. It's also black women. I mean, they've done studies, they've done polls. At the end of the day, when you look at the demographics that voted during the primaries, she didn't win a majority of those key voting blocks. She actually did. She did very poorly.
You know what?
She did very poorly.
You know what?
Yeah, because look, her policies when she was DA or whatever it was in California, number one. Sorry?
It was excruciating. It was painful.
She was not. I mean, you looked at her and she's not presidential. I'm sorry. If I were to compare her to Hillary Clinton, I mean, come on, I'm not saying Hillary Clinton is the best person in the world, but if you compared the two of them,
right,
Hillary was more presidential and more statesman-like compared to Kamala.
The president we have now, though.
Sorry?
Look at the president we have now.
What did you say?
Look at the president we have now. He's not presidential at all. Not even the slightest bit.
But did you hear what I just said? I said compared to Hillary Clinton. I wouldn't say Kamala was.
But it's not making sense what you're saying, though. I think I'm with Bishop here. I think the fact about someone being presidential anymore doesn't count.
But that's not what I'm. No. When I'm talking about being presidential, I'm not. Let me clarify here. Hillary Clinton has a lot of experience in the State Department. She has experience as a senator. She has a lot of political experience, which Kamala does not have. So if you put both of them in a primary election in the Democratic Party, Hillary wiped the floor with her.
I know.
Because Hillary can get votes from key voting blocks within the Democratic Party, which Kamala Harris has not demonstrated that she can. So it's look,
Emmanuel.
President Trump. President Trump is not presidential, but he could easily connect with the key demographics that he needed to be elected as the Republican candidate. That's the difference.
Either very political or very charismatic.
Sorry?
So you need to be either very political or very charismatic.
No, he's just charismatic, and he speaks the language of the people that that he needed to get elected. He spoke their language, and it's a simple. He connected with them, and they believed everything he said. So no matter what we think, whether he's presidential or not.
So Emmanuel, so what you're feeling?
That's the formula moving forward. A person needs to be very political,
charismatic,
experience, or
yeah.
But why do you think Biden picked her?
I think he picked her for optics.
Optics.
Wow. Yeah. I think he picked her for optics.
Because
optics if you
in regards to the minority votes?
No. So consider this.
Right.
If you really wanted to solidify the black vote, okay, especially amongst the young folk, which Biden was finding difficult to connect with, then I would have gone with Stacey Abrams, because what she did and the campaign she built in Georgia was absolutely fantastic. It was ground shattering. She came within 0.something% of winning that election, and she could have actually asked for a recount, but she decided to concede very early. So in terms of solidifying that key vote, I would have picked her over Kamala, because Kamala's performance during the primaries, I'm sorry, it was woeful, absolutely woeful. So perhaps he picked her. For me, I just think it's optics, because look, when you looked at all of the people that he wanted to select as a VP, I'm just putting this out there. I might be wrong. I could be wrong. I looked at Stacey Abrams and I thought, he's not going to pick her. He's going to pick the one that looks good on camera. He's not going to pick her.
Okay. When you say optics, you just mean aesthetics
Yes. Yes.
Mm.
That's what I think. I could be wrong, but that's what I think.
I agree. I actually agree.
Sorry, can you elaborate that? So I didn't get it when you mean optics. What do you mean? Like
Aesthetics, the look, you know, the look.
Friendly face.
Yeah.
All of that.
Come on. If you put Stacey Abrams beside Kamala Harris.
You know what? You know, sorry guys, I'm very ignorant with American politics. I don't even know. Let me Google this Stacey girl.
You know, she ran a fantastic, and
Emmanuel,
she even advised. She advised. Sorry, go on.
Let me put something there. So that Hillary comment, I think it was unfair because Hillary's got years of experience that Kamala doesn't have. But I agree with you with your point that, and I always said it, that Kamala wasn't the right choice because she doesn't excite the black vote. She's not going to bring out the black vote because she's got so much baggage with her. And particularly, and people don't like when I say this, and I shouldn't be saying this, I think the white husband thing didn't sit well, particularly with the black community. And people don't want to say it, but it's, you know, some people look at her and just think she's not one of us, unfortunately. But that is just, you know, some white some of the stuff some people may say, and I've been reading stuff online that alluded to that. So I think that she wasn't the right one. She was there for optics, and I agree with you with that. And I actually do agree that Stacey Abrams would have been a better choice. I actually think she's very commanding. Yeah,
of course.
Looking at her picture here, looking at her picture online, the optics don't look good though.
There you go. and look.
And I'm sorry about the other thing, right? Is that when it comes to American politics, and this is very important, right? There are certain elements that to us don't make sense. To us, it's not the reason why you would elect someone, but Americans will. I think it's too early to write it off. Probably once she's in power with Biden, and we start seeing a different version of her, it might change the perception of people in America.
I've written. Look, I can actually bet on this. If Kamala Harris is the Democratic nominee in 2024, the Democrats lose the election. Do you realize that America is a very conservative society? It's a conservative society. It's not that electing a woman president isn't a good thing. It's a fantastic show of equality. But the problem is, if you have a majority of people that don't want to see a woman as a president, you can't force them.
I'm with you there.
You can't force them. You know, and when they vote in a secret ballot. You don't know who they voted for.
Yeah.
So look,
I think like
she's on the ballot. The Republicans are back in power 2024.
Yeah, I think like what Emmy said, right? Like you know, when you look at America, it's like what it could Republican Republican or something like that. Where basically, it's not really, you know, how many votes you've got, you know. If it was, I actually think yes, if it was to do with the majority of the votes, I think someone like Kamala would win.
You know what? I disagree with that. You know why I disagree with that?
I still don't think she will win.
I disagree with that because I think she is someone that she's not really chosen a lane yet. Because the right wing thinks she's progressive, she's a socialist. And the left wing thinks she's a right wing. You understand? You understand? So all she has is like those small people in the middle. You understand? So the conservative thinks she's a socialist, which she's not.
But she's not.
And then the socialist thinks she's a right wing.
And Emmanuel, look, you're forgetting something. You're forgetting something. The Democratic Party is now leaning to the left, towards the progressive demographics of America. And this is going to be an issue for whoever decides to run for president. If Kamala tries it in 2024, there's going to be a Democratic challenger that's going to beat her beat her in the primaries.
But Emmanuel, I think it's still early to say it's leading towards progressive. I'll give it another 10 years.
It's lean. When I say leaning meaning it's going in that direction. It's not fully there yet.
Progressive, I'm not going to win anytime in the next 4 years.
No. They're not in the next 4 years. I'm not.
Yeah.
That's why I said lean in.
And I was speaking to someone today. I was like, I can guarantee you 10 years from now, the demographics are shifting. You know why? The young people are the most progressive ever, right? Think about who's going to be the voting blocks in 10 years' time, right? Is the young generation. And the younger they get, the more progressive they get.
And you know another thing what you just said now is very important, because during this summer's BLM protests, who were the people coming out?
The young people.
Young people.
Yeah.
And some of them are voting for the first time. And this is the problem for Trump. Some of these people are voting for the first time.
They're not excited. That's what I mean. So this year it doesn't really matter. And next 4 years, I think give them another 10 years, and then you're going to see a real impact. Because I think another 10 years, a lot of them that are like 16, 17 would have been, I don't know, 25, 26, right? And you've got the people that are like 12 now, are growing up on TikTok and Instagram and Snapchat and friending people across the globe. They're going to be 18, 20, right? Yep. Those people their eyes are open to like the world of like mixing with immigrants. So immigration policy is not going to affect them, right? Terrorist policies are not going to affect them. You get what I mean? So for them, they're going to be very super progressive. So I'm being very pessimistic to say that I don't think progressive are going to win in the next 4 years, but give it 8 to 10 years. And then you see that voting block shrink. Those that are 65 now, that think the 60s and the 50s are going to get older, and they're probably going to start dying out. Those are the old generation. And I tell you what I was saying to Joy today. Yeah, I was like,
and that's going to affect the Republican Party massively,
hugely. But I tell you what I was saying to Joy. Yeah, like my sister is 25 years old. Yeah, my sister's like, if a man can't cook, I will never marry him.
Yeah, she's of a different generation, totally different generation.
I was like, are you serious? Like we're so conservative and traditional. Like for me, it's almost a natural. Like a man, you can do all the manly stuff, but you don't need to know how to cook to, for a wife to take you in. You understand? But for her, it's a done deal. That's how progressive these people are. She's like,
okay, wait, Manny. You just said that's how progressive they are. Is it progressive for a man to know how to cook in the house?
No, it's not. It's not. But I'm saying our generation. But our generation.
Yeah, our generation. Yeah, definitely.
Our generation.
Not mine. I know how to cook.
Yeah,
this guy, let me tell you, man will never learn how to cook. I believe with this guy. And it's nothing to do with generation. This guy never typed. He would go home, get a pot, bring a pot from his mom, and put it in the freezer.
Hold on. Be genuine, yeah. Be honest, yeah. Tell me our generation are not traditional.
Well, we're less traditional than our parents, and it's just going to get more progressive with each cycle.
Yeah.
So it's relative.
I mean, I'm sure our parents will say they were progressive compared to our grandparents.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the younger the generations, the more progressive they get, the more liberal they get, the more intertwined with the world they get. You understand? All this like borders and stuff, they don't care about that. They want to travel to Mexico and they want to travel around the world because they're befriending people around the world anyway. On TikTok, they've got people from China. They got an Indian.
Yeah, but the thing is, you see, here's the problem. Moving forward, the point is the control that these countries like America, Europe had in the past is fast being eroded. How? By the younger generation who are refusing to follow in the footsteps of their forefathers. And that's the same thing that happened. What happened? How did the Roman Empire collapse? Yeah. It collapsed because apparently the barbarians, or the people they thought were barbarians, overran the empire. And it's not like the Romans didn't see that coming, but they just thought, nah, that would never happen. You know, who are these people? You know, they thought Germania, they thought the Franks, you know, all these people, the Visigoths, they thought these people were barbarians because everything's relative, right? So even in today's day, we have that same thing going on now, where we are witnessing, as we're alive today, the collapse of Western society. We're witnessing that live right now. And it might not seem like it's been accelerated, but in about that same 10 years that Emmanuel's talking about, there's going to be a lot more turmoil than we see right now.
Well,
we think this is bad.
we're gonna be the
I want
elders.
to add something really quick to the point Emmanuel just made and Coco just made. Kamala, the reason behind why Biden chose her. So she's not, you know, the typical black
woman.
On the black side is blamed for doing a lot of things that put.
Am I the only one facing problems?
People who are more pro law and order.
Sorry, Emmy, we lost you there for a bit.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now, but I'm very keen to hear. So if you can just probably close the video, but leave the audio so that we can at least hear you for a bit. Then you can switch on the video.
Okay, so my video is causing problems, huh?
I think so, because it's dropping off.
I'll turn it off. So I was saying that there's very possibly a calculated reason that Biden chose Kamala, because, you know, he's got advice. They're not stupid. He sees what we see. He knows that Stacey Abrams is gonna galvanize more of the black votes, but at the same time, there are many people that are minorities on the Trump side who worry about the minorities encroaching on their autonomy and their power in the global structure, in the American social political structure. And, you know, that phrase law and order. So when you bring someone who is black, at the same time, she's not so black because she went after black men. So that might be part of why that void of having someone who is very moderate, who is black, but also does things that and hold up the power structure of non-minorities by going after these black people who commit crime all the time. So I think that's the calculation he made there. And then coming over to the second point about young people and how young people always get progressive. We got to think back to when Hitler took over the Germanic society, and the main
Emmy, you still there?
Bringing this populist.
How come his internet is so bad?
Emmy,
you're helping.
We lost you, Emmy.
In the equation of global dynamics, it's possible to young people who are supposed to be progressive to start thinking in a very populist, nationalistic, and traditional way. So the messaging has it's not going to be automatic for future generations.
I mean, you're so right, because I think this election we're witnessing now, I think it's going to be more transformational than people realize. I think there's something happening in America right now, and I don't think even the Republicans and the Democrats understand what that is yet.
No. I tell you, the Democrats understand it. You know why?
You think they understand it?
You know why? Because I look at the coalition in the House and I see how colorful and how diverse they're trying to push, and they have a diverse candidates and stuff like that coming out. And you look at it, you think, okay, this is a party that understands that the demographics are shifting, so therefore they're catering for it, right? You look at the leaders as well; they're trying to give more leadership to, you know, black and ethnic minority and stuff like that. But look on the other side, look at the Republican Party; they're still want to take you back to the 60s, which is never going to happen.
I mean, Lindsey Graham talked about, the good old days of segregation. I mean, I heard that comment and
they're living the last dream.
I was flabbergasted.
They're living the last dream. Yeah, I think the Republicans, this is probably the last election where they want to hold on to every fiber of what they believe in. And because after this election, the demographics are shifting, bruv. Even if Biden can win Florida, it will tell you a lot about the demographic shift in Florida.
I think the key here is the fact that even in places like South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, black people, or let me say African Americans, I really don't like that word black. African Americans seem to be moving back down south. And that is changing the voting in some of those southern states that used to be completely and solidly red. And that's what helped Stacey Abrams, because according to the previous census, the key voting bloc of ethnic minorities in Georgia, especially in places like Atlanta, actually has increased significantly.
Yeah.
That's increased significantly. And that wasn't the case 15, 20 years ago. So as more African Americans move back down south, because they left the south to look for jobs in the north and to escape segregation, right? And a lot of them still have roots in the south. So
back now by the drones.
So as we see them come back into the south, I think that increases the political calculation for the Democrats in terms of being able to actually usurp power from those southern states. So I think it's going to be an interesting watch in the next election cycle. It will be very interesting to see what happens in the midterms. Will the Republicans, if they lose this time, will they make a comeback? And how crucial will Trump be in that regard? I really wonder. I'm throwing that out to you guys. What do you guys think might happen in the midterms if the Blues sweep?
Sorry, guys, before you start the conversation, guys, I'm just going to drop off now. It's very late and I am getting up early in the morning.
All right, cool.
It was magnificent chatting with you. I wanted to bring a subject regarding Texas, because apparently from the polls that are coming out, Texas looks like it might just flip. So I think that's a very interesting.
Oh, have you seen that? Oh, okay. So we have another flip.
Yeah, but Florida is no longer looking as good as we thought it was looking before. So.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Things can always change. So anyway, continue the chat, guys, and I'll catch some of it tomorrow morning when I wake up and start looking at YouTube clip.
Well, Costa, we need to have you on. We need to have you on again.
All right, cool. I'll join, but I've got very different views from you guys, because I'm not.
It doesn't matter. That's the whole point.
I'm as conservative as they come, actually.
You're very conservative. I'm a conservative guy too.
I'm actually holding back. I'm actually holding back to some of the stuff you're saying, because I'm like, nah, that doesn't make any sense. But
no, you might say it doesn't make any sense. But guess what the beauty of democracy is?
What?
We can all have our views. We agree to disagree, and that's the beauty of life. Unless you want to be a dictator.
No. We don't want
There you go. There you go. Bada bing, bada bang.
You don't want to encourage Costa, because we have enough banter between us back and forth, right?
Look, Costa. I look forward to it, because all you will do is elevate my brain to a next level. So it's fine. I look forward to it. Trust me.
According
trust
to
me, trust me when I say that. Trust me when I say that. But I look forward to it. Don't worry.
All right. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it, guys.
Take care, man. Thanks a lot. All right. Take care. So what do you guys think might happen in the midterms if the Blues win it this time? What do you think might happen? What are we looking at?
So for me, I feel like the demographics are going to keep shifting, right? I think there's a wave of progression happening now. People are waking up to the fact that, and I think the fact that voting is important, and the fact that, when we talk about elections now, we're not only talking about president election. I think people are now understanding the importance of local elections and the midterm elections. That's why they turn out very well in the 2018 elections. massive.
I mean, that was a blue wave, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's why typically those kind of elections wouldn't have many consequences, but it did. So I feel like people are waking up to the fact that elections are important. But I think most importantly, I think people are looking at what's happening in terms of the Republicans' desperation in suppressing people's opinion and votes, and they're waking up to that and saying, "Wow, if my vote wasn't that important, why are these people stopping me? Why are these people trying to stop me to vote?" Right? So more and more people are waking up to that. But I feel like the younger generation are waiting for excitement. They're waiting for the next Obama. They're waiting for someone to bring them up. So we would still need someone.
But isn't that sorry? Let me cut you there. Isn't that a systemic risk to the Democrats? Because what that means is if they don't get someone who's as charismatic,
they do.
Then what happens? Who's the person?
It's coming up. So the likes of AOC and
I actually don't really think that she would be given that opportunity to get to that point. Honestly,
she's still Calvinize the young votes. She's still holding on to the progressive.
But she wouldn't be able to hold on to the conservative votes of the older generation. I don't think
she doesn't need to. She doesn't need to.
Yeah, but to win the primary, to win a Democratic primary, she would have to hold those key demographics, which I don't think she appeals to. She might appeal to the young folk, the young progressive ones. But remember, even amongst young people, they're not a monolithic voting bloc. So you have conservatives amongst them. But you have left-wingers amongst them. You have right-wingers amongst them.
Not much. What I'm saying is that young people are largely progressive, right? And I think they just need a progressive voice that will galvanize them. Like Bernie brought out a lot of the young votes, right? Bernie was a champion for the young people. They loved him, and he's an old man. You understand? So they just need someone of that kind of stature who also has charisma. And I think AOC is turning out to be that way, right? So give her a few years, and I'm not saying she's going to be a leader or anything, but she's still going to be in the limelight to bring out that vote, that young vote that's needed for the Democratic Party. And I believe that in the next 4 years, a lot of these old people will have to slowly disappear.
Of course they would. I mean, look at what's her name, Pelosi. Pelosi is what, 80 years old?
Yeah. In the next 2-3 years, she has to
she has to step down. In fact, I think in this election cycle, I think she needs to start thinking, who do I hand the reins over to? Because if that becomes a problem and she decides I'm not going to leave, I want to die in this, because it seems as though she doesn't want to, I think she wants to do at least another 4 years.
There are a few voices in the Democratic Party. You just think, I'm Andrew Cuomo from New York. I think it would be a perfect candidate because
he's presidential.
Yeah, he'll bring.
He commands a certain air of confidence, a certain air of bombastic, and a certain air of I like the guy. And he's Italian American. What's not to like about him?
Or a Polish Trump.
He's an Italian American. What's not to like about him?
No, but he says he's not running for presidency.
He will. Look, they're gonna convince him to run.
They're gonna turn him to.
What do you think, Emmy?
I agree.
He's gonna run.
Yeah.
I think Andrew Cuomo is just like everyone loves him. He's like, even when he comes in, even when he's saying the wrong things, you still like him. Like, yeah.
I just love the way he commands. The way in which he commands the narrative.
Yeah.
He does it in such a way that you just look and you think, wow. And half the time you're not even listening to what he's saying.
Pete Buttigieg.
Yeah.
Pete Buttigieg. Buttigieg reminds me of those corporate Democrats, right?
Yeah.
But when he speaks, he was talking about Donald Trump, insulting him in very intellectual, calm manner on Fox.
Yeah, and there was no aggression about it. It was just purely. Yeah.
I was like, wow.
And the manner in which he handled the coronavirus, the COVID situation in New York, I was quite impressed. This guy, he literally took control of the narrative and decided, look, we need to save our people. And this is not this is not a partisan issue. This is a bipartisan issue. And we need to just forget party politics here. And I think he was largely successful in that. I think he was largely successful. However, I hope that he doesn't decide that, you know, if someone approached him and said, run for the presidency, he says no, because that would be a massive, I think that would be a massive blow to the Democratic Party. Sorry?
They already approached him. He said no.
No, now.
No, that's now.
Said no, but what he did during, I feel, was an audition for his, regardless of what he said, because he did a fantastic job. And I was even thinking that if something happened to Biden during this period, he could just step in, nominated by the party. But there's something else I want to throw on the table for all of you to consider. If Biden does win, flips to the Democrats. So now it's presidency, Senate, and the House of Representatives. So that Biden and Kamala should use the full power of all three branches to get as years before the next midterm election? Or do you feel it's best to go easy, no damage is done in 2022, contrary to what Trump did? Because Trump went full force from day one.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have to ease into this. So we understand what the game plan of the Republicans is going to be. They're going to launch court cases to the Supreme Court, to federal judges, Fifth Circuit, because they've got a lot of Trump-appointed judges in those areas. And I think they're going to try and stall whatever policies they try to enact. And that's going to be the big problem here. That's going to be the biggest problem they're going to face. So I think they should take an easy approach in which they don't antagonize the other side just yet. I think they wait, they're patient and they wait till 2022, the next midterms, because if they don't, they're going to be at risk of losing. They're going to be at risk of losing control of the House of Reps or the Senate. Because remember, in the next cycle, there are going to be many more Democrats who are going to be up for re-election.
Mm-hmm.
In this cycle, they had safe seats and probably about 4 or 5 toss-ups, on the Democratic side. Mm-hmm. But in the next cycle, they're going to have many more Democrats up for re-election. And that's going to be a key risk, because then if the Republicans regain either the House or the Senate, then it's game over. Game, set, and match.
Well, I disagree. I think Democrats they need to get with the 20th century or 21st century politics right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what is the 21st century politics? Is, you got to cater for your people. You got to stand behind your promises. Mm-hmm. And you got to put your foot down when you're wrong or right. Right? You got to be aggressive, right? And you got to show strength, right? That's what happens. That's what Trump did. That's what Republicans do. They just look at their people. They look at their people that vote for them. They look at their voters, and they just roll based on that. I think that's what exactly they need to take the rule out of the Republicans' playbooks if they ever want to consolidate power. Or they're going to be the same old weak Democrats as they've always been
before. So more aggressive, but with better PR.
Yeah, better PR. Like things that happened. Was it the bus thing that in
exactly?
Yeah. How many Democrats did you see on TV condemning?
Not one.
Like no one. I would have 10 line up condemn. These people are
Okay. You say condemn. Fantastic. However, there are going to be some voters, even if it's just a minority of people that they want to peel away from the Republicans. So they're treading carefully. We have to understand in this election cycle. Look, in this election, no. In this election cycle, if it's going to come down to the wire, then that means that I'm trying to peel off, even if it's 10,000 votes from the Republicans. That could hand me the keys to Florida. That could hand me the keys to Michigan. That could hand me the keys to Wisconsin. So I still need to kind of, not that I'm not, I watched, we all saw this on the news cycle, and there were people condemning this. It's just, it may not have been as loud as, no, they were. I watched CNN, they were condemning it. MSNBC.
If that was the Republican thing.
But the thing is,
of course, I understand.
Condemnation.
Yeah.
Because, okay, so we saw the bus, we saw the trucks. There's no way to spin that. Even when Trump tried to do that during the rally, he was even smiling a little bit. No sense.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, there's not much argument or interpretation or translation for that visual.
I will slam that.
They should have done commercials and just run that on a replay. You either vote for.
I don't think that would have increased their votes personally. I really don't think that would have increased their vote counts.
Emmanuel.
I don't think that would have increased their vote counts.
You go through this stuff.
Okay, let me just. Trump talks about law and order.
Yeah.
That's the opposite of law and order.
Exactly.
It's disorder. It's disorder. It's chaos. It's disorder. It's chaos. No. Look, I understand that, but you see, what we're missing here is this. This is the guy who 235,000 Americans have died from COVID-19, and he still sits there and actually can still get votes in that country. I mean, some of the people who have died, I'm gonna bet you $100 some of their family members are still voting for him, even though they can see the disaster or the disastrous manner in which he has handled the COVID-19 pandemic in America. They're still going to vote for him. This is a guy who's making fun of people wearing masks, for example, but they're still going to vote for him.
So maybe this is not about policy anymore. I know there's some things you don't want to say on live TV. Maybe it's about the ideology. We start talking about racism and all that.
Of course.
When things don't make sense, that's what it boils down to.
Of course. Because if you look at the okay, so
Emmanuel, we're saying the same thing. We're saying that these people don't care about policies, and these people still vote for him.
Yeah, but this is what you just said. You just said the Democrats should have rinsed out visuals. But even if they rinsed those visuals out, it would not affect the Republicans voting for Donald Trump. Who's it gonna affect?
What it would do is galvanize and energize.
No, those ones are already galvanized because they're already galvanized. No, you're forgetting. The data is fact.
Yeah.
Fact is data. And 95% of all of the votes cast, 130-something thousand of them cast in 2016, had already been cast by the time the voting booths opened today, which means people are already galvanized. This is going to be an election where they will surpass between probably 68 to 75% in terms of the percentage of the electorate that are actually going to vote. This is going to be one of the best elections in which the voter turnout is going to break records. So they're already galvanized. They're galvanized already. It wasn't, look, the visuals of the bus weren't going to change anything. People had made up their mind already. It wasn't going to change anything. And that would have been a distraction.
No.
It would have been a distraction because it would have been a distraction.
Let me say this. Emmanuel, you have a very good point. Republicans have a better strategy when it comes to PR branding. Can we agree on that?
Yes, 100%.
Okay, so if you flip this and it was a Trump bus with Biden trucks ramming them, what do you think the Republicans would have done in spite of the fact
they would have rinsed this. However, The Republicans are not the Democrats. This is the difference. The Democrats are already galvanized. Even if the Democrats use those visuals, it would not have increased the number of Republicans voting for Democrats.
All right. Okay, Emmanuel, for argument's sake, yeah, let other people have this go, right? All right, I know I'll get your point, yeah, but let for argument's sake, it's not.
No, but you're saying it as though you're saying it as though the Democrats would suddenly have gotten what? What would have been the policy change in that? What would they have gained?
Let other people have a chance, bro. What's wrong with you?
Everyone's free to. It's a democracy. It's not a dictatorship.
Wait. Let me have a.
Do I look like Boris Johnson?
Coco, let me just say one thing. Then
Emmy, hold on a sec. This guy, yeah. Okay, he wouldn't change anything.
Yeah.
But for me as a democratic voter, that's what I want. I want to be excited about my vote, right? I want to carve in the other younger people that are excited that Democrats are standing up for values that mean a lot to America. There are younger people that are not voting in these elections. There are, I'm not talking about Republican votes. I'm talking about the people, Democratic votes that are still absent. Black people are still absent. The people that, that think that both sides are, that they don't serve them well, right? I want these people to understand that we stand for what's good, right? And I want to come out hard when something is wrong. And I wanna just nail it down.
Do you know there's a conundrum? There's a conundrum in the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
There's a conundrum.
Yeah.
There's a part of the Democratic Party that wants to be Republican. And then there's a middle ground, and then there's the part that wants to be progressive and left. Right. You can't have it all.
You can't have it all.
So what's that, Emmy?
Emmy is frozen.
Is he? Oh. Emmy, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so what you just said now is actually an excellent point. The Democrats have years of Democrats. But has any of you watched the movie Mad Max? So we're talking about some futuristic.
Wait, guys. Ohio, Biden is leading in Ohio. That's quite
okay. So Biden, no, but his lead is 1% though.
No, Ohio is a lot higher, isn't it?
Huh?
Ohio.
Yeah. Sorry, what's that? So let me refresh this.
I've just seen something flash across my screen. So
I think, but this is quite interesting because if Trump takes Florida, I'm just wondering how that occurred because the what was that guy's name? The African American guy who ran for governor of Florida.
Andrew Gillum.
Andrew Gillum, that's it. He came within, I think it was it less than 1% or 0.5% of gaining the governorship. Right. So if Trump has won this state by more than 2 percentage points, then that means that some Democrats or those, the newly, there are some felons who have now been given the right to vote. That would mean that they have voted for Trump because the assumption was they would vote Democratic. And then I think the Hispanic community, possibly in Miami, has gone more for Trump than Biden. This is significant.
I think there are a lot of people voting now in Florida and many other states. People to vote in 2016 but did not vote. There's just a larger turnout across the board, which might be speaking to what you just observed. But to the point where we're talking about before, what you said now is also tied into that. There are a lot of people don't want to see the Republicans win, but most people don't want to see the United States fall. Dogs can just intimidate anybody on the road, and it's
No, that I definitely accept.
Yeah. So if they did a good job of showing that Trump and his administration and his party are actually condone street thuggishness and violence, that still votes away from the Republicans. Because I think most Americans, regardless of policy, would not be in favor of an America where you need to be scared to believe in something. That's why that visual would have been very strong if it was played properly.
But you do realize that the thing with America is that certain visuals and certain things seem to affect people on a localized basis as opposed to a statewide or national basis. So, for example, the issue of militias, you would think that people would be so scared of the fact that people are carrying guns into the state house. I think it was in Michigan, for example. And then they arrested, I think, 11 people recently for plotting to kidnap the governor of that state, right? The FBI. Now, you would think, like, let's think like, let's say we have no party affiliation, we don't, particularly take part in politics, but if we're thinking on a fundamental level, you would say that was wrong, right?
It boiled down to PR. So
you would say, but you would say that was wrong.
Absolutely.
And we all saw this on TV. The Republicans saw it, the Democrats saw it, the Independents saw it, and it wasn't even just in Michigan. There were other states as well where this was happening. I mean, it defies logic why this stuff happens. It defies logic. It honestly does.
Well, you're right. I think PR is at the core. And let me tell you what. If you flip that, let's say Barack Obama was the president and his supporters were plotting to kidnap the governor of some Republican states. Everything you just said.
You get annihilated.
The Republicans will do an amazing job of vilifying him, and they would country against that party. So there's something fundamentally wrong with the PR machine of the Democrats.
Yeah. I think for me, they try and play too safe, right? I don't know why they're not lining up to go on TV shows to condemn some of these actions. And I think one of the things that annoyed me was when Trump caught COVID, and they played all nicey. 2 weeks later, Trump came out and started abusing them. You're like, these people just don't learn, right? They just don't learn from, you understand?
But you see, Emmanuel, you forget something which is critical here. These guys in public, it may look like they have these ideological fights. In private, I can bet you that they are some of the best of friends. I'm telling you. I can bet you in private. Look, what they do in public, and this is the thing we don't understand about politics, which is the people we see right there in our eyes, in front of us, are they really the people pulling the strings?
Right. So I don't disagree with that, but I disagree with the fact that the Republicans do a better job.
Oh, they know what they want. They know what they want. They know what they want. I even said to someone the other day, African Americans voting Democratic, for me personally, I think is something that, they need to think about what they have gained from doing that over the last 60 years, for example.
Well, why would you say that?
I would say, when
people say things like that, it just makes me question
look, we're all Democrats. We're all allowed to vote for whoever we want to vote for. At the end of the day, I feel that for the last 60 years, African Americans, what have they really gained from constantly voting? Because every time a Democratic president has gained power in America, they have needed African American votes. They have needed African American votes, and now more so than ever. Because Latinos, who we would have thought would vote for the Democrats, actually pretty much like the Republicans.
Right.
It pretty much, like a huge majority of them actually vote Republican in a lot of the key Southwest states in
Right.
America. They
Right.
vote Republican, and I that's not, I can't even explain that one, But my point is, I think African Americans have not been able to get a good deal from the Democrats.
Mm.
This kind of brings up what you just said. Now brings up the issue, the recent story.
Somebody needs to mute their mic.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Somebody's mic. Who is that?
Well, what's that? What are you hearing?
I'm not hearing anything.
I'm hearing Spanish.
It's from your hands, bro.
No, mate.
It's not from any of us. I can't hear Spanish. I'm
not either.
Are you hearing fire Spanish?
I'm being serious.
Maybe it's him.
Oh, maybe. I thought I was going mad. But yeah, Emmy, we're listening.
Okay, so with regards to
you still there, Emmy? Emmy, you're on mute. Emmy, you've got to unmute yourself. Oh, he's probably having problems or something. What do you think, Bishop? Do you think that African Americans have gotten a good deal from the Democrats over the last 60 years?
I think they've not. Me personally, what I think about the Democratic Party, or even just the African American as a general, I think they should just formulate a one block party where they all galvanize themselves together, sit down, have a conversation with them, come as a unit. Don't come as an individual party affiliated person. Come as a unit and sit down with these politicians and all these people running for office and everything.
So like the Black Caucus should be like a political party then?
Exactly, and they don't vote for anyone. Election day comes, they say, listen, this is what we want from you guys. This is what you need to deliver for any of us in our block. Vote for you. If that can carry place in American culture, the blacks will get what they want from the politicians. Otherwise, we're just going to keep being misled continually for the next 50, 60 years again.
Yeah, but
okay, so do you agree? Do you agree with the fact that perhaps they should make a deal with a different political party?
No.
If they make a deal with the Republicans are going to still shaft them.
Right. Do you know what? I really don't think so. I really actually, if I was an American and I was allowed to vote, I'd probably. Yeah, sorry, Emmanuel, you go on.
Let me stop you there. Yeah. Track record wise, if you look at on paper, right? You look at Republicans, you look at Democrats. You look at which ones. Like, if I had friends, and I had friends that are Republicans, and I have friends that are Democrats, and I go and look at them, and I'm like, okay, which one can I align myself with? Guess what? I'm gonna align myself with the Democratic Party. You know why? Because I look at them, I look at, okay, this is a progressive party that has people that I can recognize with, people that are similar to me, right?
But that's not.
Okay, but
let me finish.
Sorry, okay, you go on. Sorry, go on.
People that don't align with white supremacy, people that are not aligned with police brutality, people that deny that racism exists, people that do not support Black Lives Matters, not the organization as a movement. People that think that police brutality does not exist. Right? I'm like, that is the people I'm going to align with, right? Those are the people I'm going to be friends with. That's the people I'm going to vote with. Okay, I'm not getting all that I want from them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a problem with what you just. There's a problem with what you just said.
What's the problem? Tell me.
The problem with what you just said is this: you just said that you said something to do with racism. Now, in most of the cities where there have been race riots in America, look, this is fact. Look, we have to look. This is the elephant in the. No. I'm sorry. No. I'm sorry. You just said the Democratic Party. So they look like you. They sound like you. They people that you can commune with. You know, but you can equally find such people in the Republican Party.
No, you can't.
You can equally find such people.
I cannot.
Look, just because they're not black and they don't look like you doesn't mean you can't find them.
Show me the diversity.
Let's look.
Guys, I have a middle ground view.
Philadelphia. Who's in control of Philadelphia? Is it Republicans or Democrats? Who's in charge? George Floyd? Where he died, who's in charge? Who's in charge? Wait, who's in charge of those places? These are democratic cities.
No, you see, that's where you get it wrong. That's where you get.
What, they're Republicans?
That's where you get twisted. The state legislatures and the
not in these states. These particular places. No, you can check this out yourself. Check it out yourself. What about Chicago? Who controls Chicago? Democrats? Or Republicans? Come on. Exactly.
Yeah, what's wrong with Chicago?
Even the mayor of Chicago. What are you talking about? What's wrong with Chicago?
What's wrong with Chicago?
What do you mean what's wrong? I mean, come on now.
No, go tell me what's wrong with Chicago. Tell me.
The crime rate, bad housing, bad schools. What are you talking about? It's facts.
Let me tell you some things.
And these are democratic cities.
Let me tell you something here. Some things are designed that way. The poorest states are still Republicans.
I don't dispute that. There are poor states that are. No. Okay. Can you compare? No. Emmanuel. Let's be factual.
I don't agree with your assessment.
No, you don't have to agree with it. But let's be factual.
Can I bring in a third point of view?
Yeah, go on.
Go on.
Third point of view. Correct. That's a sad thing. And that's why I feel that what Ice Cube did recently is the right way to go. He got a lot of flack for, talking to Trump. But when you listen to his own one-on-one interview, he made it very clear that he did not go to talk to Trump and his administration because he supports them. He said he put a plan together, and he put the plan out to the Democrats and the Republicans to see who's going to bite, who's going to bring something to the table that will elevate his people, his interests more than. So that's what the Black people, the minorities, African Americans need to do, kind of tying into what Bishop said earlier. I don't agree that it will be marginalized as a party. You gotta look at the root cause and speak to the systemic problem. So, very major topic, reparations. Everyone talks about reparations, but you give everyone $10,000, that's gonna, even if you give everyone $100,000. So something very concrete that will elevate that entire demographic properly in the form of reparations to all African Americans, not African Americans who 5 years ago from somewhere else, because they're going to fight that.
The ancestors of slaves.
So, Emmy, let me say.
Let's wrap up with one point. So if tomorrow someone wins, it becomes very clear Black people are not going to vote Democrat or Republican. They're not beholden to any party. There's no loyalty.
Of course.
We're looking at who is going to help us. And
that's
then
it.
You put something in place where anyone who is descendants of slaves, any African American, you automatically get free college education, free raise the playing field. So you don't have to worry about certain things in order to elevate your family perspective from a career perspective, getting loans for businesses. And you do that as a standard law for 10. Then you examine the entire Black community on year number 11, you're going to see a very different, stronger demographic.
Emmy.
This is the thing. Look, okay, go on.
Let me chime in for a bit. Emmy, did you listen to Roland Martin's interview with Ice Cube?
No.
Okay, so I can't have this conversation if you haven't listened to that.
But I did listen to him.
No, forget about CNN. Forget about Ice Cube on other network.
No, there was another network.
No,
it was not mainstream.
No, but the thing is, look, Emmanuel, the thing is,
hold on.
Black people cannot say the only people I'm going to vote for are Democrats. That's like a dictatorship. It's a dictatorship. What are we talking about?
Wait. Listen to Ice Cube interview, with Roland Martin. Right? If you haven't listened to that, I can't have this conversation, because let me tell you something. There was a question Roland Martin asked Ice Cube, and it just kind of broke everything apart. It's like, what did Trump administration take from your plan to improve in their plan?
Not a thing.
But isn't it a case that he just took the plan? Wait, Emmy, didn't he just take the plan to them? Are you saying he took the plan to them 4 years ago or 3 years ago?
Yeah, Emmanuel, you haven't listened to this stuff, so why you haven't?
No. This is logical.
Hold on. Ice Cube.
This is logical.
Ice Cube is doing the right thing, but he was very ineffective in doing this just before an election.
Yes,
exactly.
I don't see what he did was brave. What he did was brave, and the fact that some of us will question the fact that some of us will question what it wasn't what was stupid about it. It's his democratic right. Why does he have to vote for a Democrat? Why does he have to vote for a Democrat?
It was stupid.
It's like saying because I'm black, or because I am Nigerian, British Nigerian, I should vote for the Labour Party.
What Ice Cube did.
If I want to vote for the Conservatives, I should be able to do that.
What Ice Cube did was stupid because it was.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. No, I don't agree. I don't agree.
Exactly. You haven't listened to the whole thing. You don't know the context.
I know what we're talking about here.
No.
I will not look. Okay, so would you? Okay, I'm assuming. Would you say the same? Okay, what would you say about Lil Wayne? Okay, what would you say about Lil Wayne?
See, it's the same thing with Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne is a lost. So Lil Wayne is a lost cause.
A lost cause. No one listens to
Lil Wayne is a lost cause. You see, this is a problem with us. If we say that we own the thought process of a black person, and we must all think with this narrow, myopic manner of thinking, no, it's not going to work. We can't all vote Democrat. I'm sorry. We cannot.
I'm talking about you educated, calculated.
That doesn't come into it in the way in which you're thinking it does. So what about all the people so what about all the African Americans that are not educated? What about all the African Americans that are not educated?
There's a reason 90% of African Americans vote Democrats.
What's the reason?
No, go look at the history. I'm not going to tell you
No. What's the reason? No. Tell me the reason.
Okay, let me tell you number one,
because that wasn't the case after the Civil War. They mostly voted Republican.
Did you listen to Donald Trump say that racism doesn't exist in America? That systematic racism doesn't exist in America.
Look, whatever Donald Trump thinks, it's not my business. Look, whatever Donald Trump.
Agree on facts.
No. Look. We agree. No. But you're swifting. You're shifting. No. You're shifting.
I'm showing you why.
You're shifting.
Why? I'm telling you why.
Donald Trump, whether Donald Trump is saying something racial or not, as far as I'm concerned, if I want to vote for the Republican Party, no black person or African American should tell me that I'm not allowed to do so, and that if I did so, it's against some what is it against?
You as a black person, if a Republican Party tells you that there's no structural racism, right?
Okay.
What you're saying is an illusion of your own self, and you still put against.
So you're saying so you are basically telling me that as a result of that, the only party I should go and vote for are the Democrats.
I'm telling you,
Do I not have my own thought process?
Well, what's your thought process? The people that
But,
deny
but, but I have my own thought process. There are black people. There are, look, I don't even like the word black. There are African Americans that have their own thought process, and we have to respect it. You can't call it an illusion. That's the reason. Look, you can't call it an illusion.
Just 1 second. Let me just say one thing.
It's not an illusion.
Guys.
How is it an illusion? So because I am, for example, I'm African, so I must vote the way every other person votes.
No. Have your best interest. If you
you can't. Look, I will determine that, and we should respect our decisions.
No, guys, let me just say
that's a dictatorship. No, that is a dictatorship. No. Oh, so if I vote for the opposing party, I've lost my mind.
You've lost your mind because
wow. Okay.
Pressing you.
That's fantastic.
Let me just say one thing.
Stockholm. Oh, so I've been kidnapped, and now my kidnapper is. I'm so in love with my kidnapper now. Yeah, Stockholm syndrome. All right.
Okay, check it out, guys. Check it out.
Okay, fantastic.
Emmanuel and Coco, let me just say one thing. I feel that you're absolutely correct, Emmanuel, and Coco is also correct for one reason. I wouldn't say that Lil Wayne and Ice Cube were stupid. There's other synonyms I would use, but I feel that it was dangerous to make the moves they made just before an election. What I would have respected is if Ice Cube and Lil Wayne came out and said, the Democratic Party is not very helpful to my people. I want something to be, we're not beholden to any party, no loyalty. But they did that 1 year into President Trump's presidency. So we have 3 years to play around, or if he's going to really put his mouth and his actions where the support
is coming from.
Be dangerous. That's why I think Emmanuel is saying that was stupid, because now they're bringing up arguments within the Black community and making us feel that we all need to switch to the Republican side because the Democrats are not helping. Democrats haven't always done a very good job, but when you look at the bare minimums, they tend to do a lot of things that help Black people or African Americans, although you would call it welfare. That's why earlier I said we need to address the root cause. You can't just give people $400 every year when you're in power. And so you've done something more substantive that can elevate.
Okay, so now you're talking. You're talking about something which is quite pertinent in this conversation, which is this. That whole idea of the welfare state creates a dependency. It creates a dependency on the person who is in power. Okay, it creates that dependency. And for me, I think that this is where, you know, what you just said about, you know, the whole affirmative action, free education and all of that stuff for a set period of time to level up the African American community is actually a very good idea, as opposed to this whole idea of welfare. You know, so that is something which is quite intrinsic to the supports that the Democrats usually expect from, you know, the African American community. And the funny thing is, if an African American decides I want to vote for a different party, why should that be a problem?
You shouldn't.
It should not be a problem in a democracy. It's in a democracy.
Just for the record, Emmanuel, just one more record. I want to be clear that I wasn't proposing that Black African Americans are the only ones who get welfare. The majority of welfare recipients in the United States literally are white Americans. So that needs to be clear. But for some reason, when you come back to the same PR problem, all you hear about is African Americans getting welfare. So I want to just set that record straight.
Okay. Let me give you another angle to this. Yeah. So Emmanuel's talking about you know, giving giving opportunities to Black people, colleges and all this stuff. And
well, Emmy brought it up, and I actually agree. I agree with that, because that's part of what affirmative action is, isn't it?
Tell me which party is likely going to pass that bill in Congress?
I don't know that yet.
That's
I don't know. Look,
Based-
I don't know that yet.
No. Based on
Okay, can you say for a fact? Can you say for a fact that the Democrats will?
based on track records,
Okay.
It is
which
Democrats.
party are likely going to pass a progressive bill that helps black people right today?
More than likely, the Democrats. More than likely.
Exactly. Right? Which party represents the coalition of America today?
Look.
Well, these things change. These things change. You know, just like what someone said.
Yeah, but Emmy,
What we call Democrats used to be Republicans.
Okay. Now, after no. Look, Emmanuel. Look. Let Bishop go on. Let Bishop say so. Let Bishop say something.
If I go stand in the House of Representatives,
let Bishop say something.
Let me say something. If I go stand in the House of Representatives,
yeah,
and I look at the coalition of people, and I say, these are the people that represents me. Which people are likely going to represent me in the House of Representatives?
We know this. Look, what you're talking. No, Emmanuel, what you're talking about really has. Look, my point is, if there are African Americans who want to vote for a different candidate in a different party, you and I have no right to tell them that what you're doing is wrong. We have no right to do that. That is my point. We have no right to do that. And we cannot say that they're stupid. You cannot say that they're unintelligent. You cannot say that.
I don't think Emmanuel said they were stupid.
No, you said they're stupid and that they're delusional. You can't say that. You can't say that.
I can absolutely say that.
No, you can't say that. You can't say that.
Like the same way you have freedom to vote for
yeah, that's fine, but you can't say those people are delusional. I'm Nigerian. I'm British Nigerian. The Labour Party, I don't like the current Labour Party, for example. I'm leaning more towards the Conservatives. The Conservatives, are they the best party in terms of race and some of these other things? No, not necessarily. But I'm leaning towards some of their policies and some of the candidates they have in their political party. Why should me, as a British Nigerian, not be able to do that? Why should I have to be pigeonholed into a box that says I must vote for the Labour Party? No, I don't think that's something that, you know.
We're not monolithic. We all think different.
And we should respect our differences of opinion.
Bishop, what
I said what I said earlier. It doesn't matter who is in the party, demographic wise or not. Like I said, the black community or African American community in America need to come as a one voting block and put forth their grievances to these politicians and sit with them. This is what we need from you guys before we vote for you. So it wouldn't matter who is in power. It wouldn't matter if they're black or white. It wouldn't matter if they're purple. If they don't agree to your term, you don't vote. American election needs the African American vote, regardless of what party runs the country. Don't matter who runs it. They need the African American vote. And the African American vote in the whole percentage is a lot. 40 million African Americans. They need them. Believe me when I tell you, American politicians need them. So if they sit down and actually come with a constructive plan like what Ice Cube did, I won't call him stupid. I'll say it was not a well-thought plan.
I'll say it was naive. Yeah.
So Bishop, you only have a problem with the way the plan was constructed, as opposed to whether he had the right to do that.
He had the right to do whatever he wants.
There you go.
He's America.
Would you say he's delusional? No,
I wouldn't say that.
You know, because that's a very strong, because if you say someone is delusional, let me tell you something, yeah? You know, when we talk about racism, and I'm not one of those people that would say every white person is a racist. I don't buy that. I don't buy that in any way, shape, or form. But the problem is there are people, key demographics amongst the white folk, whom if you alienate and don't listen to their concerns to understand where they're coming from, you lose them as a democratic voting block, because you still need to understand their issues, right? So no one is, as far as I'm concerned, no electorate is stupid, no electorate is delusional. They have a right to vote for a candidate that they connect with in their hearts and in their minds. But even though some are uneducated, you can't say, oh, they are XYZ. No, we can't say that. We should not do that. Because
All right.
I had this argument with some people I had this
Well-
argument with some people, and I said you can't. It's when people say other people, other African or African American folk should not vote a certain way or support certain things because you should think this specific way. I have a big problem with that because that is wrong. It's wrong.
I agree. See, at the end of the day, we said earlier, what Lil Wayne and what Ice Cube did was probably done at the wrong time. At the end of the day, about what they're trying to do. But these guys make millions of dollars. Trump's policies with regards to lower tax cuts for people that make over $500,000 does help them. So they don't necessarily have to represent the Black community. For themselves, Trump is probably a better candidate. So we need to remember that.
So let me say something here. So Emmanuel, you have a responsibility. So you as a person, as an ordinary citizen, you can vote wherever you want. But as soon as you start stepping into the limelight,
An influencer, someone with a platform,
followings, and every step you make has to be scrutinized, has to be thought through, right? Ice Cube did not think through his step, right? He had a good plan in mind, right? But meeting Trump's people because they just wanted to use him for the optics. Don't get it twisted. No one in the right mind will think that Trump is going to do a deal with Ice Cube before a week before the election.
Yeah,
there's no
that's a good point,
right? There's no one that will sit down and say, "Oh, it's 2 weeks before election. Or let me meet the Trump people. Maybe they'll do a deal with the Black people." They've not done a deal with Black people for 4 years. Okay, they've let some people out of jail, right? So they let 12 people out of jail. But they've put in 90, 100 and something judges that were conservative judges, that white judges that will rule against Black people, right?
So what's the timing thing?
Yeah,
timing.
Yeah,
what he did was okay, but it was bad timing.
Yeah,
and they used him basically.
Timing is delusional because you think that.
You see, there you go again. You go again. This African American guy decides that I'm going to go to the person I feel chimes with the policies that I would like to see enacted. But he's delusional. He's delusional.
You're not listening to me. You're not listening to me.
That was not the reason I went to Trump.
Whatever the reason was, he's not. Whatever the reason was, he's not delusional. He's not delusional for going to Trump. Because he's not delusional. How is he delusional?
Okay, let me finish.
How can you say he's delusional?
Okay, let me answer your question then. How can you think 2 weeks before the election?
Stick with naive. Don't say delusional. Let's say naive.
No, I know it's the same thing. For me, it's the same thing.
It's not the same thing. I'm sorry. Delusional is you have lost your mind.
Yeah, that's why
it is a strong word. So if we look in the English dictionary, delusional is you have lost your mind.
The same way you have a right to vote for whoever you want to.
You have a right to lose your mind as well, yeah? All right. Okay.
Say it was delusional.
Okay.
In my opinion, my humble opinion, your opinion is different from mine. 2 weeks before election, there's no way this candidate's gonna have time to implement your plan.
We know this.
We know this.
Yeah, you know this.
We know this.
You know this as a person, and you know what Trump uses people for. Because you know why? You know Steve Harvey had this same problem as well 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know he's been using people for photo ops. You know Trump cleared protesters just to have a Bible in front of him.
Yes, we know this.
You know this.
You're not saying anything new. We know this. It's not new.
He's still going to do a deal with him 2 weeks before.
But look, if he goes and does a deal with Trump, is that your business? Is he not allowed to look? We have a democracy. We have a democracy for a reason.
As a leader.
No, we have no. We have a democracy for a reason. So are you gonna? Okay, so wait. The Republicans that voted for Trump, are they delusional?
No, I wouldn't say they're delusional.
No. Okay, so the Republicans that voted for Trump are not delusional, but Ice Cube is delusional.
Yes.
Now that is telling in what you've just said.
No, let me explain myself.
What you've just said is Republicans who voted for Trump are not delusional.
Yeah.
But Ice Cube is delusional.
You know
The
why?
reason
Wow.
Emmanuel is saying
why?
that is because
You know
Ice Cube
why?
has a
Ice Cube
platform
2
to
years ago
influence
rapped
other
about
people.
Ice
But I
Cube
still
2
wouldn't
years
say
ago rapped
delusional.
about kidnapping, locking up Donald Trump because of his affiliation with Russia. You know that, yeah? It was against Donald Trump.
No,
right?
you've not answered you've not clarified or answered what the statement I've just said. The statement is, are Donald Trump's Republican supporters delusional? You said no. Can you please tell me why?
Why? Because they vote along party line. The loyalty.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So when sorry, let me understand this. So when Ice Cube decides I want to vote Republican, or Lil Wayne says I want to vote Republican, they are delusional.
Yes.
Even though they're voting for a party which Republican supporters also will vote for technically.
You're going wrong because they're misleading a group of people.
Who are they misleading, by the way?
Black vote. That's why he's got the contract for America.
No. Who are they misleading, and how are they misleading them?
Ice Cube claim to have a contract for America, black people.
How is he misleading African Americans? I don't like the word black. How is he misleading them?
He's not going to be reenacted 2 weeks before the election.
We know this.
Exactly, and he knows that.
We know this.
Why did he let himself be used by Trump?
Well, how do you know he's being used? You're making an assumption.
That's what
Emmy or Bishop, can you please chime into this?
You don't know what they did.
Let me hear it. Let me say that.
I agree, guys. I wouldn't say delusional, although we have the prerogative to use different words and synonyms. So Daniel feels strongly about that. I respect that. But is that Ice Cube and Lil Wayne, if they did not want to influence a lot of voters, should really wants to help black people. And I'm not saying that Trump will.
Emmy, you still there with us?
An election.
Yeah.
It's kind of like paying for something, you get the product. Why should we give you our votes now on the promise you're going to do something for our people when there's no do that? Those two men speaking for us should have done this a few years ago, which is why I feel that was a bad move. I wouldn't say delusional, but that was a bad move. And they didn't really help the black cause by doing it.
But did they have the right to do that?
They had the right to do that. So people should have the right to not follow them, I guess.
That's it. No one says, but Emmanuel's point is they have a following. They have a following. Just because they have a following, you're now putting the entire responsibility on this guy's shoulders and saying that, look, anyone who decides to follow Ice Cube is delusional because
touching on this subject, right? This proposal that you.
What do you mean he took it upon himself? Politicians, people. Look, there are interest groups in politics.
Ice Cube.
There are interest groups in politics, and each interest group or lobby group goes to the party in power and says, look, I want this, and they make a deal. And that's how politics works. Whether we like that or not, that's how politics works. That's how the lobbies work in Washington. That's how they work in the UK Parliament. It's the same thing. There are interest groups and there are lobbies and lobbyists, who fight for their own interests. Whether it's remove the smoking ban for Formula One, whatever it is, there's always a lobby and they get what they want. And that's how politics works. And that's why, for me, if Ice Cube decides this is what he wants to do, because he's thinking, can these people deliver for me? Then do you know what? Whether it's optics or whatever we want to call it, he has a right to do that, and other people have a right to criticize it. However, we don't have a right to call him delusional.
Exactly.
We don't have a right to call him delusional.
Why don't I have the right?
Sorry. You don't have a right. You can't say he's delusional. You can't say he's delusional. Look, how can you look? I always have a problem when people think because you are African or you are African American, you must all think the same way. I'm not going to think the same way other people think. I don't have to.
That you don't agree with him. You don't agree with Coco calling him delusional, but Coco does have a right to call him delusional.
Yeah.
He has a right to call him delusional, but look, he has a right to call him delusional. But the word delusional, when you look, if we're basing this on facts, no, base it on facts. The word delusional, if you go and check in the English Oxford Dictionary, the word delusional is losing your mind.
Okay.
He's not lost his mind. Is he in a mental home? Like, I don't know. Have you found him on the streets behaving oddly? You can't use the word delusional if you're not using it in the correct context. Not possible. And as you said, we're educated. So if we're educated, let's educate ourselves on the facts.
Why can I call him stupid then?
That's up to you. But I'm just saying, don't call him delusional because he's not delusional. Delusional is I lost my mind and I don't know what I'm doing. And I don't think someone of Ice Cube's stature, is someone who has lost his mind because he wouldn't be successful.
I say he was stupid.
Okay, if that's what you want to use, you have a right to do that. But he's not delusional.
The thing you don't know, is another.
What don't you see? You just use that word again. You, as in, what don't I know that you know?
I know.
Please tell me. No. Please.
Okay.
Because 1 + 1 is 2, and 2 + 2 is 9. Go on. Tell me what I don't know.
Let me speak. So
that's not a problem.
So let me tell you something here. Someone did an investigation on some of this stuff that Ice Cube was doing.
Okay.
And they found that he didn't disclose that he had certain meetings with the Trump campaign, right?
Yeah.
And he said he just didn't have, he had like 1 or 2 meetings and it wasn't like anything serious here. But he had a few meetings with them. And B, the person, he's got a basketball thing that he's doing, Big Three. You know about the Big Three?
Yes.
Right. One of the sponsor is a Trump friend who's got connection with what's it called? What's this guy from Breitbart that was a chief of staff?
Steve Bannon.
Right.
Steve Bannon.
Yeah, the person that arranged the meeting between him and the Trump campaign was this guy that's friends with Steve Bannon, right? So there's all this connection that we didn't know that existed, and these people are invested in the Big Three with Ice Cube. So it's all about the money, baby, right? And these are the things you guys don't know, right? You just come up with Ice Cube having a meeting with no
but is he wrong?
Nothing.
Does he not look? You see, let me say something.
Emmanuel, let me finish here. He's wrong.
Okay. Because
he's portraying himself as representing Black America. Right? If he goes on his own, like Lil Wayne did, which is a different case, then I can say, okay, that's Lil Wayne's issue, right? But if he say, oh, I'm putting a contract for Black America, and this is what I'm doing to represent Black people, then you have a responsibility to be honest, to make sure whatever you're doing is right, you're taking the right steps, right? That you're responsible for all your actions, that you know the people you're meeting and the people you're not meeting. Just because you're desperate doesn't mean you have to meet everyone, especially during the election period, right? Because some people, like the Trump campaign, have been known to using people for propaganda. Anyone that doesn't know that Trump uses you for propaganda is delusional. Because you know Trump for 4 years. You know it's just optics with him, right? Everyone knows what Trump does, right? If you don't know that, then you're delusional. That's it, period.
Okay, fine. So someone like me, I'm delusional.
If you don't know what Trump does, yeah.
No. Someone like me, from what you've said, whether I know what Trump does, but from my views, I'm delusional.
Well, I didn't
this
say
is the no. This is the point. I'm delusional. So therefore, if I'm delusional, I've lost my faculties. I didn't go to university. I don't know anything. I'm just this unintelligent mutt. I'm like a worm that just worms his way through the world.
Count for much, right?
Yeah.
I've said this several times. In Trump's era, power is more important than intelligence.
Look. Even if you think power is more important than it,
I've seen the most intelligent people kowtow to Trump's stupidness. I've seen the most intelligent people trying to explain it where is nonsense, right?
Okay.
So intelligence doesn't count for nothing.
But my point is, people have a right to vote for whoever they want to vote for, and it is not upon us to tell that person that, look, if you vote for A or B, you're delusional. Because that's okay. But do you know that that's not going to help the narrative?
I don't care.
No. If you want to actually convince those people that, look, what you're doing, but if you want to convince, okay, so if you're not concerned about convincing them, then okay, that's fine. Then that's fine.
We had this conversation in the last video. I said I don't want to win over the Trump people because for them they're close to me, right?
Okay. And you think that whoever
and have a moral dilemma about voting for this guy, I don't want to convince you. It's too late.
Okay, I have to step in. I do disagree, Emmanuel. So I keep finding myself in the middle of you guys. So at the end of the day, when all of this stuff is done, you don't just have Trump's America and Biden's America. You still end up having blacks. So you got to think civil rights movement in the 60s. There's no way blacks would have all that traction politically if you didn't have a lot of white people marching with them. Same thing goes for now with George Floyd. If only black people were on the streets, nothing would happen.
This is true.
And you can't assume that all of the white people that were marching were all Democrats. You can't assume that. You can't assume that. You see, so because those marches were they were massive. They were massive. So I think there's a different America that if you speak the language, if you speak the emotional language emotional and mental language that they understand, you will reach them. And for me, you cannot discount Republican voters. You just can't. Look, you do it at your peril.
To Coco's point, I think Coco is also correct that if we look at the people who were marching, there were some Republicans, but there's no a majority were Republicans. It was probably majority Democrats and independents. So I think the marrying point for your differing perspectives is how to reach the independents, because there's so many people who are in the middle who call themselves Democrats or Republicans, really either or, and some will call themselves independents. So the focus for change needs to be the independent, focusing on Republicans or Democrats. And if the others hear and like what you're talking about, then they'll come over. But everyone needs to have some say to the independents if you want change. And that's regardless of race or color in this case. You got to have something to say. You can't focus on Democrats or Republicans. If you do, we're going to be gridlocks forever. So
that's it. I mean, Bishop, you were going to say some stuff, even though we kind of there was passion. There was passion. I gotta say that. You know,
my case was in terms of the Ice Cube situation. It's just the fact that he presented his proposal to both parties. He didn't present it to one party. He didn't just go to Trump. He went to both parties. Trump was the first one to respond. That's why it blew up the way it did blow up. Because he went to both of them. He went to Biden camp and he went to the Trump camp. The Trump camp responded quicker because they saw optics like Coco. They saw
easy to respond quicker.
The Trump campaign responded quicker to the Ice Cube.
Yeah. If you go out, and you see a nice girl and you see another, you get 52 girls, you put 2 proposals out, and there's one easy one that this one is a quick one, and there's another one that's a bit hard to get. This one's a long-term one. What would you do? You go for the quick one.
No. I don't think that's what Bishop is saying. I think it comes back to the timing. It should have been clear to Ice Cube that Trump would probably bite even better than Biden because it helps Trump. So You know, it's apples and oranges.
No, but you think about it here, it's a no-brainer. A no-brainer. Trump has governed 4 years. What's the Trump approval rating for 4 years? Still the same, 40%, 45%. It's governed the same.
Okay, but Emmanuel, you've not answered the thing that Bishop just said. Bishop just said, no. Bishop just said he took the same plan to the Democrats and to the Republicans. So kind of explain that one to us, because before you said he's delusional.
Explain that. Again, you haven't watched the Roland Martin video.
No,
right?
I don't need to watch the Roland Martin's video. I'm just saying he took the same plan to both. So explain that.
Right. Let me explain it.
You can't discredit one person's views because you feel you don't like the candidate of that party.
Let me explain it. He took it to both parties, yeah?
Yeah.
The Trump people wanted to see him straight away, and the Democratic Party said, oh, can we wait till after the election, right? And the Trump people were onto it. That's what I'm saying. The desperation of the Trump team was telling. Because Trump people will latch on to anything to make them look like they're pandering to the black vote, right?
Okay.
What Ronald Martin asked him is that, okay, they came up to you first. What did they do? What were the actions they took? What were they?
But the thing is, you say what did they do?
What did they do? What did they do to their plan from your plan?
Okay. What did they do? My point is this. Look, guy, look.
It was
okay. So let's boil this a little bit. Let's take this a bit back. Who is Joe Biden? I know. Look, tonight Joe Biden is possibly on the cusp of victory. We know this.
You don't know that.
No. He's this election he has won. The votes are gonna be a slow count, but Biden has won the election.
In Florida now.
Look, Biden has won the election. It's done. It's a done deal. Look, it's a done deal. Biden has won the election. Okay, he's won the election. And if you want to bet to say, I can put my money where my mouth is, you do that right now. Let's do it. £500.
No, I don't have that kind of money, man.
Oh, I am 100% sure that Biden has won that election.
Yeah.
Sorry?
I'm not that delusional.
Oh, look, at the end of the day, let's consider something. If you are African American, I don't think that we should be putting people into a box to say you have to vote Democrat. If somebody feels like I want to vote for a different party, please, by all means, go ahead and do it. But I don't think someone's delusional by doing that, because that's the very reason why some Democrats don't understand some of the Republican voters.
Yeah.
Because while you might not like them, you still have to govern for them. So it doesn't matter who gets elected. You still have to govern for them, right? You can't just say, oh, in this state, they're a bit racist or whatever, or they're a bit ignorant or whatever. So I'm not gonna, we won't send any federal tax dollars to that state. It doesn't happen like that. Whoever is elected has to govern for all. And therein lies the narrative where you need to understand those same people. You need to understand their needs. You need to understand their wants. You can't dismiss them. They're part of the electorate. They're part of the country. You can't dismiss them. It doesn't work like that. It does not work like that. But if you can understand some of them, perhaps you can reach them and change them to your point of view. But once you start with they're delusional, you've lost them.
Yeah.
You've lost them. At that point, you've lost them.
The same reason why Trump keeps winning.
But it's not winning right now.
Well, he's not winning, but he won last election.
Yeah, he won. He was the insurgent in the last election.
Right.
He talked about draining the swamp. He talked about policies that chimed with the people who felt they had been left behind. And left behind by who? Not the Republic. They were left behind by Democrats. Look, let's be clear about this. Who negotiated the NAFTA agreement? Who negotiated that? Let's talk facts. Let's talk facts. Who negotiated the NAFTA agreement that moved manufacturing jobs out of the Rust Belt and out of the Midwest? Come on, let's be honest.
It was a Republican that did that.
Yeah.
So, it wasn't the look. Let me during Clinton. Look, please go and do some research, please. Okay, I beg of you, go and do some research. Because I'm not just saying it. I'm not saying it just for the fun of it. It's facts.
But the NAFTA agreement was not solely responsible for jobs going overseas.
It was part of the problem in terms of jobs going. I'm not saying it's the only. It was part of the problem, and. This is why I say that the Democrats, they play a very good game because they have corporate interests as well. You just, you know, we just think that there are no corporate interests. Oh, they're people-powered political party, but they're not. They have their corporate interests, and those corporate interests have been involved in moving jobs away from America to Asia.
Republican.
I've always said that the Democrats and the Republicans serve the same people.
For jobs going overseas.
Oh, wait. So I think Coco's just said something that's quite important.
No, I've always said that.
You've not always said that. No, you've not. When have you always said that?
I beg.
When have you always? No, please.
I didn't hear what he said. What did he say?
Let him say it.
Establishment Democrats. That's why I'm in the camps of Bernie Sanders. Yeah, I've always said establishment Democrats and establishment Republicans are the same people. They serve the same master.
I have heard you say that.
I've always said.
I was just saying the same thing. Opinion. There are corporate Republicans and corporate Democrats who really who are more focused on their own gains and aggrandizements on the global scale, but they Americans. But at the end of the day, it's really just about the United States of themselves.
Right. I've always said that. And that's why they fought so hard to bring Joe Biden and not Bernie Sanders, because it was serving the same purpose, the middle ground. And Emmy, me and you had an extensive conversation around this, about Joe Biden and all that stuff. You remember we had that conversation, right? Yep. And I've always said that they serve the same people. But what I don't.
So then we are speaking almost the same. We're speaking almost the same language.
What I've come to realize is that even though they serve the same people, there's something about the devil, you know, right? The devil that's closer to your heart is better than the devil you don't, right? The devil you don't know. And I think the Republicans are outright evilish in their way of doing things, right?
You see, there you go. There you go again. There you go again. Exactly. And that's what will lose you the ability to communicate with the other side, because you need to communicate with them. You can't just communicate with your side alone.
Absolutely. But I would say the Republicans and the messaging has been evilish, right? I think the Republicans are bent on and they know the right from wrong, but they still do these evil policies. I saw Mike Pence sit in a debate and deny structural racism and police brutality. And I saw Donald Trump say, like, oh, Black Lives Matter as a word is racist. And I saw all this stuff and I'm like, no, there's one party that at least align with you in some sort of way. And there's another party that's completely denying of your existence and your own reality. And I'm like, those can't be the same. It can't be the two sides of the same coin, right? So for me, the choice was clear, right? For some people, we might be like, oh, I don't care. Oh, I want to vote Republican because both sides don't matter. But I'm like, no, but if you deny my existence and my struggle, that means we don't even have any basis to start from. We can't even have a conversation about what's going on. Like, I couldn't even be with a Republican wife or girlfriend. It would just wouldn't work because I can't have.
Now you're choosing your partner based on their party political affiliation.
I've been honest, because if I said to them, oh, I felt this way, this person did this to me, they'll be like, no, it doesn't exist. It's all in your head.
Yeah, we're all different. Some people need the politics to resonate with their spirits. And so in that case, you can't have your partner
be... Go and have it. Same I can't have my closest friends be Republicans, because for me, that resonates with my spirit, with my core. Like with
so I'm open to being a Republican, for example.
That's fine. But
so I'm guessing we after today we're not gonna be friends.
No, we'll be friends, but
you can't have it both ways.
It's all about the fluctuation.
We'll be at arm's length because I know your view.
Oh, right. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. That's perfectly fine.
I'm being honest. I mean,
I will live. I will live.
I've voted both Democrats and Daniel. You know, we talk, I and Coco, we have similar views, and sometimes
so Emmy, have you ever voted Republican?
That's why I call myself an independent. And like I said earlier,
you've never voted Republican, am I? You have. Okay, I think he has. You have. Okay.
I have.
But are you still friends with Emmanuel, with Coco though?
Yeah, absolutely. Because when I speak,
is he at arm's length?
No. When I speak to him, he understands my view. Because
but he still votes Republican. But he's not at arm's length.
Amy understands.
So is there some bias here?
I'll be
very radical, Coco.
Voted Democrat.
Very radical.
Say that.
What?
Your view is very radical.
Absolutely. And I'm not going to shy away from that, because that's my beliefs. That's my core belief, right? My core belief is very simple, right? And I put it out to everyone. I believe that, you got to look after the people that are less fortunate than you, right? I believe you got to be kind. You got to be cautious. I believe that racism exists, right? I believe that our struggle are real. I believe in diversity. And it's quite simple beliefs. It's not anything radical.
Okay, you just said you believe in diversity.
Yeah.
The Conservative Party has a very diverse cabinet. Do you believe in them? I'm just asking the question. You just said, and I quote, I believe in diversity. We all heard this. I believe in diversity. No. Look, if you say you believe in diversity, the current Conservative cabinet in the United Kingdom is diverse. Do you believe in them?
Where's diverse? How many people? How many?
No, I'm asking you. They have LGBTQ. They have people of color. They have someone of African origin. They have people of European origin. So they are diverse. So do you believe in them? That's my question. Do you believe in the Conservatives because they are diverse?
No, I don't believe in the Conservatives.
Why do you not? Okay, do you believe they have a diverse cabinet?
Not diverse enough.
So what does it make the fact that you have the most powerful, one of the second most powerful position, the Chancellor, he's Asian. The Home Secretary, Asian. You have I can't remember her name now. Is it the Education Minister or Secretary of Education? I can't remember her name now. Yeah. She's I think she's of African origin or something, if I remember correctly. And considering that we make up a very tiny proportion of the population of this country, is that not a diverse cabinet?
No, those are just 3 people.
But is that no? There are more. I just can't remember their names. There are more. There are more. I can't remember their names, but you can look it up. You can look it up on the parliamentary website. No, you can look it up on the parliamentary website.
I want to suggest something.
Diversity in his own in existence. So,
well, you just mentioned diversity.
Yeah, you mentioned 3 names, and he said,
yeah, but there are more. I'm just saying that. I'm just saying to you, there's diversity in that cabinet. So you just said diversity. You want to see diversity. You've got Okay, is the Labour Party diverse?
I don't need any.
Is the Labour Party diverse?
Huh?
Is the Labour Party front cabinet, the front bench, is it diverse?
Absolutely.
How is the front bench diverse? Please tell me. Apart from David Lammy, I know all of the ones that are in there. Apart from David Lammy, how is the front bench diverse? Please tell me.
And Diana Abbey, what's the other girl that's
Diane Abbott is not there. That was under Corbyn.
That's on the Corbyn.
Yes. No. That was under Corbyn. We currently have Keir Starmer. So please, are they diverse? Because you mentioned the word. Look, Emmy, you heard him say diverse. And you were about to say something, Emmy. So let me stop so you can say something.
I was going to suggest a segue that might help us a little bit since we're.
I think he's frozen again.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, sorry about that. I was going to suggest a segue away verse, delusional, etc., that we can relate on, something that's affecting both the UK and the USA and has been a very important variable in the election that we're having today, and that's COVID-19. So now Biden's going into power, or Trump is going to continue power. Regardless of who it is, for the next 2 years, COVID-19 is going to be a very strong shaping elements for politics, both from an economic and also just relations. People who say it's real, who say it's not real, wear a mask. So COVID-19 is a big deal right now, and you guys are having an uptake in cases as well.
Is one of the original Justice Democrats from 2018.
So what are your thoughts on?
Have we lost him again?
Wow, this is bad. You guys can't hear me.
Yeah,
we just lost you.
Man.
Okay, I'm going to turn my video off like I did before. Does this help my audio? Is this better now?
Yeah, that might help.
Yeah. All right. Sorry about that. So I was saying that COVID-19 is a very important element in shaping both politics and economics for the U.S. over the next 2 years, because we haven't, and it's also advised the current election that is ongoing today. So what are your thoughts on COVID-19, how different these two candidates are? Because from my observation, Trump's strategy is COVID-19 a nuisance. It's a distraction. It's not really real. Let's just let it run rampant. If you get it, you recover. The economics. While Biden more schools open a different way, safer. There's going to be money for business, real, and we can't just open up and let whoever dies die. So right now on the UK side, I know you've got people in power who and recovered, but after recovering, how Trump handled his own recovery. So what role do you feel COVID-19 will play in the next 2 years, depending on who wins?
I mean, I think that when Joe Biden comes in, I think you're probably going to get more people wearing masks. You're going to get more people kind of taking a different approach to COVID-19. Now, I think because America has this idea of freedom, you kind of understand why some Americans feel that they don't want their government to tell them what to do when it comes to things like wearing masks and lockdowns. That's why you've seen a few protests in America and whatnot and what have you. However, I think at this point, COVID-19 is running rampant everywhere in the world that I don't know there's no magic bullet that Biden can deploy. There's no, I mean, this virus is now, there's community transmission in every state in America. So I don't know how you stop that because it's already in those communities. In January, February, it was just about to spread. Whereas now we have a completely different situation where this virus seems to also be mutating, which means it's becoming more lethal. So I'm kind of 50-50 about whether Biden will make a very massive difference to COVID-19 pandemic. But that's just, I don't know. He may not, because if there are Republican states that don't want to listen to what he has to say and follow his orders, then what do you do?
Well, one thing I will say is, based on what Trump has done in the last and being virtually obsessed. It's almost delusional, if I was going to use that word. That
I know what.
To win, I'm using it in a
guys.
nice way. If he wins, if Trump wins, nothing is going to be done further for COVID-19. The focus vaccine and not for wearing masks.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what do you guys think? Coco, Bishop, what do you guys think?
And I wanted you guys to tie this into the economy of Republicans versus Democrats. So the Republican Party right now, being beholden to Trump, just lets it go through the entire.
Yeah, I just
is in favor of the small guy.
Yeah, I just think it's if Joe Biden does win, which I'm still questioning because anything can happen over the night, there is a clear plan in place, like the national mandate of mask and all that stuff, and a bit of seriousness for people to follow, at least something for a bit of guidance from the top. You get what I mean? A bit of leadership to take it a bit seriously. I think that could make a difference. Which Trump would never manage to do, and Trump has never managed to do. So I think Trump and his Republican Party is a joke, really, because they're just playing down this stuff just for the political gains, right? And they know how serious it is. So I don't even take them seriously because they have no plan. They just focus on the politics of it. They know it plays better with their base if they downplay it. And that's what they're always going to do, So Trump winning, I don't think he's going to do anything different from what he's doing right now. I think he's going to carry on his hysteria of playing it down. I think he's just going to carry on just trying to be a buffoon about it. And the Republican Party is going to follow suit because that's the majority of what their base is asking them to do. So I can't see a difference, but at least if Joe Biden wins, there'll be a seriousness in place. There'll be a national mandate for masks. There'll be, some local lockdown. I'm sure there'll be some sort of regional kind of traffic light to kind of track and test and all that stuff. There'll be a bit of seriousness focused to it, like to kind of curtail the spread. So there'll be a bit of difference. So I do think there'll be a massive difference from how Trump is reacting to it.
And I brought this up because I wanted to tie it into the last topic about, again, Republicans versus Democrats, Black people or African Americans, who is really doing something for Africans. And we look at the facts. Right now, no one can dispute the fact that African Americans and Americans are dying more than white Americans when it comes to COVID. So when we think about this before Ice Cube and meeting with the Trump people, and who is really looking out for African American interests.
Yeah, so it's clear if Trump hasn't looked out for African American for 3 years, what makes you think it's going to change now?
No, but I wanted to something specific. You and Emmanuel were having, Coco, on a specific point, African Americans and more than white Americans when it comes to COVID.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
And Trump's plan is to get the country open. If anyone's going to catch it, die. That's life, natural selection. Let's get on with it. While Biden, even if he's pandering, does have a plan to have everyone wear a mask, even if it's by national mandate. And so that's going to help African Americans who statistically are dying more than others. Although Republicans and Democrats are both guilty of corporate interests, at the end of the day, the common denominator, the Democrats seem to be the party that does things okay help the little guy. So that's to the point that you guys were debating earlier.
But
so
but
they're both
Emmy,
Democrats do help the little guy, more times than not.
But Emmy, you just mentioned something which is quite important. You said the Democrats sometimes help the little guy. So it's almost as though, like, let's be serious about this. It's almost as though they know that this is a key demographic that they need to gain power. So they give it's almost like they give them enough crumbs to be able to wheel them in. But are they really doing what would change the status quo? Because if anyone thinks the people in control of the Democratic Party would do anything that is against their own self-interest, come on, let's think about this. There are 13% of the US population are African Americans. How many, and there are 100 senators in the US Senate. How many, do we have 13 of them that are black, or rather African American, because I don't like that word black? Do we have 13 out of that 100 that are African American? No, we don't. No, we don't. So when the Democrats are selecting candidates, for example, in some of the states where they have very strong roots, why don't they select African Americans in some of these states or in some of these districts? Why don't they do that? Maybe perhaps instead of some of the tokenism.
Why don't you flip that to Republicans?
Instead of the no. Look, we just mentioned no. Emmy just mentioned something about what that the party that's more likely to do something, no matter how small, would be the Democrats. But I posit something different, which is they do that because that's the key demographic that will get them elected. But once they are elected, I don't see anything more that they're doing. I see tokenism, but I'm not going to say I see a major shift in the manner in which they affect that black, that African American community. I'm sorry. A lot of the cities in America are democratically run cities, and a lot of them are either crime-ridden, in some form of, I don't know, some time warp. I mean, I went to Philadelphia. I saw buildings which look like someone has taken a samurai sword and sliced half of it off. Like I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was on a train coming from from New York, and I was shocked at what I saw because I couldn't believe I was in America. I passed through certain areas in Philadelphia and I was like, sorry, am I in? I had to ask the person sitting next to me, am I in America? But then when I went to Atlanta, I saw a completely different city. Atlanta is supposed to be like the intellectual and the bougie city for African Americans in America.
Black Mecca.
Yeah, a very different city completely compared to some of the other ghetto areas that I saw. And I asked myself, if Democrats are the ones in control of these places, in terms of being the mayor, in terms of being the governor, why has there not been any change? And they usually need the African American vote to get into power. So why has that not changed? I mean, I struggle to understand that. I just struggle to understand that. Which is why if an African American decides I want to vote for a Republican or vote for a different party, look, do you know what? If that will change their narrative and make them feel better, it's their choice. They have a right to do that.
My question is, what has Republican done to make you think, oh yeah, that's a party I want to vote for?
Look, the Republicans, look, let's understand history. Let's understand a bit of history.
Don't go like the
Wait. No. Look, this is relevant. This is relevant. When did African Americans start voting? Okay, when did African Americans start voting Democratic? Please, can you tell me?
It's not relevant.
I will answer that question.
How is it not relevant?
It's not.
How is it not relevant?
The party actually switched places, right? We know this.
How is it not relevant? Sorry, Bishop. What was that, Bishop?
The party switched places. When did they switch places? What happened? Why did they switch places?
Yeah, why?
It's relevant.
I'm asking you. You say it doesn't matter. It does matter why they switch places.
It's relevant.
It's actually relevant. Why did they switch places?
Regardless of when and why they switched places, the more important thing is that they can.
Are you asking, Bishop, me or Emmanuel?
You.
Me?
Yeah, you. Okay. You. I don't know if you know why they switched places.
I know about this. I know about this. I know about this.
You look like you go on Google right there.
The reason they switched places was because
what?
The Republicans of the North started realizing that serving corporate interests and
don't slow down now, Emmanuel.
No, and not catering for minority interests was a better option. They started to curtail minority rights, right? So they actually went from being pro blacks and pro minorities to being against them because they started getting wealth from the North, right? So the black people realized that these people were starting to turn against them. So they started voting for the Democrats that were in favor of their rights. And this is what happens, when does this all happen? I think in the 18th century somewhere, 19th century or something. But I can't remember exactly.
19th century.
19th century. Now you're right.
What exactly are you talking about? I'm confused. I'm confused. Oh, right. 19th century is when they switch places.
Was it 18 something? Well, I can't remember.
18 something. Are you sure? Are you sure about that? Yeah. Because Google is your friend.
Let me.
Okay, you tell me.
No. You made the claim. So defend your claim.
No, I'm defending it. I've told you why. I don't know when.
What have you said? What have you said? You've just said I don't know when.
No.
African Americans have been voting Republicans to the 60s.
Okay now.
I don't know about 1800.
Make it loud, Bishop. Make it loud. Make it loud, because look, you cannot remove historical fact or a historical narrative and say, you can't just do that. It doesn't work that way.
That's absolute nonsense. Yeah?
How is that absolute nonsense? How is that nonsense?
The Republicans now.
No, okay. Why did they vote? Okay, why did they vote Republican up until the 60s? Why did they vote Republican up until the 60s? Yeah? Explain that to us.
Huh?
The reason the African Americans voted Republican for that long, the party of Lincoln that emancipated the black people.
Exactly.
And somewhere along the way, more nationalists, white supremacist type people were influxing the Democratic Party.
Okay.
And that happened. And that happened in the 50s and the 60s.
Yeah. And so it switch
in the 60s.
is switches can still occur.
Yeah.
Look, I'm telling you guys here that there is a possibility that one day there may be a significant amount of African Americans that will go back to the Republican Party. Say that look, you can say that I'm saying it and it's never going to happen. However, it is not beyond the realms of possibility. It is not beyond the realms of possibility.
It won't be now.
I don't know when that may happen, because at some point the Republican Party has to change to reflect a completely different demographic if they want to be elected into certain positions or certain offices within the country. Look, we're not here telling other people, oh, vote for this person, don't vote for this person, or if you did this or did that. But the point is, facts are facts. The only reason why the Conservatives in the UK, for example, gained power and the majority of seats, what is it? 360 or is it 380 MPs? No, let me finish this. Let me finish this, please. Let me finish this, please.
No, you can't finish
that. Let me finish this, please. Let me finish this. The reason why they gained power. Hey, bada bing, bada bang, bada bang, bada bing, bada bang, bada bang. The reason why, bada bing, bada bang, bada bing. The reason why the reason why the Conservatives won power was because they appealed to the former Labour Party supporters in the North. That's how they broke through.
Emmanuel, so you and Bishop, I don't know the point you're trying to make with the Conservative and
they're the same. They're cut from the same cloth.
Please, my thoughts now. I don't know what the point we're trying to make with Democrats and Conservative. When you know they switch places, you know the Democrats and Republicans today are not the same in the 60s.
Well, I don't understand. You just said you've just acknowledged they switched places in the 60s, or I don't understand. Because before you were saying the 18th, or was it the 18th or 16th century? You said they switched places.
Hold on. I said
like be factual with what you're saying. I don't understand.
Okay, didn't I say they switched places? Is that not fact?
You said in the night.
I said they switched places.
Okay, but when did they switch places? Because that's important to the narrative.
I don't get the timing right. But
okay, but when did they switch places? It's important to get the time right because it gives context.
But didn't they say switch places?
But it gives context. We know they did. We've agreed they did. When?
End of conversation, they switch places.
How can you just say end of conversation? They switch
places. What the point is today? Does that reflect the Republican Party?
Okay, but why did they switch places? Like, you have to understand the narrative.
I explain to you why they switched places.
Why?
Because the Republicans were against the minority and they were favoring the.
You think that's the reason why they switched places?
That's why they switched places. Why did they switch places? Why? Yeah, why did more black people vote for the Democrats then? Because they know Democrats were bringing in policies that favor them. The Republicans were favoring the corporation. Then they knew
who brought in the Civil Rights Bill.
You Republicans,
of course, the Republican, right? So
who brought? No, I'm just gonna ask you this. Who brought in? Okay, all right. Emmy, can we hear from you, please? Because obviously you have quite a bit of insight here.
Manuel, you're being disingenuous by bringing all these points up here.
I just.
I'm delusional as well.
I'm delusional.
Absolutely.
I'm disingenuous. I'm delusional. Anything else? Because
you're bringing these points up.
No. But anything else? You said I'm disillusioned. I'm delusional. I'm disingenuous. Anything else? Anything else?
It's not the right point. You're just.
Why are you telling me? You're telling me my point is not right because you feel your point is right. No, because it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way, though.
Nonsense.
1 plus. Oh, my point is nonsense.
Absolute nonsense. How can you say that the Republican Party now represent the Republican Party?
Look,
the slaves. How can you say that?
Wait, Bishop, did you hear the question that I asked? Did you hear what I just asked and the statement I made? Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, we didn't say that though.
Did you hear what I said, Bishop?
No, what does we said?
Oh, we didn't say that.
What did you say?
The Republican Party used to be Lincoln's party.
Yeah,
You said it switched up in the 1800s.
Yeah.
I said
Ronald Reagan changed that whole thing.
Oh my God! Now we're at Ronald Reagan.
Years ago, though.
Now we're not Ronald Reagan.
In the 70s, mate.
Yeah, Ronald Reagan's changed.
Who was in power in the 70s? By the way,
who are you asking?
Who was? I'm asking you, Emmanuel. Who was in power in the 70s?
No, you ask yourself. You tell me.
You just said these things changed with Ronald Reagan, who was in power in the 80s.
I said,
yeah. Who was in power in the 70s?
Yeah.
Who did Ronald Reagan take over from?
The 70s, yeah.
Who did Ronald Reagan take over from?
He presided over a Republican Party that is today. That is when the Republican Party really transitioned to what they are today.
No. It's happened in the 60s, mate.
No, but look at the history. Ronald Reagan consolidated the Republican Party today. Like the issues they are fighting for today was from Ronald Reagan's day.
Amy, you agree with that?
Obviously, I've taken this. I've taken a million times, but you don't remember all these things until it actually matters. So I've been doing some reading while listening to you guys talking. And from what I'm reading here, it appears the switch actually started quite before the 60s.
50s, I said earlier.
Okay, so I'm going to read something here from livescience.com. During the 1860s, Republicans who dominated northern states orchestrated an ambitious expansion of the federal power. So this actually started in the 19th century. You guys catch that? So
Emmanuel, this doesn't support your point. Honestly, I'm telling you, it doesn't support your point.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
But the Democratic Party was the party of small governments at the very beginning.
Yep.
And does it say there about the Whig Party?
Yeah, the Whig Party.
Wait, Emmanuel. Wait. Please, let's get this. The royalist part. Like, look, there's a lot of layers to this. But Emmy, we're listening to you.
I'm looking here. You wanted to know about the Whig Party as well?
No. Just carry on with what you're saying.
Okay. I'm looking at little excerpts, so I'm not reading too much. Okay. Between 1828 and 1861, the title of Democrat had its beginnings in the South, and it was actually the Democratic Republican Party. Those two words were combined. And this was, 1793, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison. Mm-hmm. And they were the party of small governments. And obviously the guys that emancipated the slaves, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. So I'm jumping forward here to, I see what you said about the Whigs in the 1850s, where they disintegrated.
And they disintegrated and their party support. Anyway, go on.
The Democrats control the national governments. Party now became the name of that original party. The anti-slavery party became just Republican Party. Mm-hmm. 60 presidential election. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure this is going to help.
It's not going to help because what Bishop said is because what you're what you're looking at is the antithesis of how these parties actually came to be initially.
Right. So
how they came to be.
I'm going to read something from what Bishop was talking about. Mm-hmm. During the civil rights movement, Democrats in the South initially still voted loyalty with their. After signing the Civil Rights Act of 1964, old arguments that all whites had to stick together. Mm-hmm. More and more whites began to vote Republican, especially in the suburbs.
Yep.
Newcomers from the north, who were mostly Republican, now joined by conservatives and wealthy Southern whites and white liberals and poor white areas, remained in the Democratic Party.
Okay.
Voted after that. That was it.
Okay. Now that's where the switch occurred.
That's
So
what
what you were reading before was the that was the origin of some of the parties in America, because you used to have a royal party. There was a party that supported the old empire, you know, England, the king. That was the Whigs, because we had the same party in the UK as well, you know. And in the 1950s, the switch started slowly, but by the 1960s, when they signed that bill, it gained traction.
Quickly, because the white
gained
folks,
traction.
they were pissed off.
Of course. So if we don't understand that history and that narrative, because that's why when I'm saying that, you know, today that yes, African Americans are voting Democratic, and Democrats always expect that African Americans will vote Democrat. Yeah. When Hillary Clinton in 2016 was the candidate for the Democratic Party, African Americans, many of them stayed home. That's the reason she lost the election. That's the reason she lost the election.
They never went anywhere because
that's why she lost.
She already assumed that she was going to get the votes with that.
Yeah, because she just assumed. She made an assumption because Obama had the highest rate of African American participation in the democratic process. I think we can all agree. We can all agree with that. But then with Clinton, that dropped by a few percentage points, but it was enough to lose her the election in key states like Michigan.
She forgot that she wasn't her husband.
Pennsylvania.
That's what she forgot. She forgot she wasn't her husband. Her husband was liked by African Americans.
You know, I don't know, Emmy, am I making sense?
Absolutely, yeah.
That's, you know, it's the key.
Yeah. So what sense are you making, Emmanuel?
My sense is the fact that African Americans used to vote Republican. That's my point. They've done that before. So, and when they did that, you can't tell me that the entire Republican Party at that time was non-racial. You know, there were different types of people in that party. Just like even in the Democratic Party. Wait. In the Democratic Party, they're not all pure angels. That's what I'm talking about.
I know that.
They're not all pure angels.
But why did they switch?
They switched because of the civil rights.
Yeah,
that's when they switched.
Was supporting their rights.
They switched because of civil rights. But if you look at what they've gained, if you look at what they've gained over time. Okay, for example, wait. Let's look at this.
When was the Civil War? When was the Civil War?
Wait. Civil War was in the 1860s.
Was in the 19th century.
It wasn't around.
I mean, why are you going all the way back to the Civil? Like, it doesn't mix. It doesn't even. It doesn't chime. The point is, look, it doesn't chime. The point is, look, at the end of the day, yeah, let me tell you something. At the end of the day, yeah, if anyone wants to tell me that somehow the Democratic Party couldn't have done more for the African American community, I'm sorry. They've had power many times and they have not done it. I'm sorry. Like, you can't really just sit there and say, oh, all this giving them a little bit of crumbs here and there, giving a few crumbs to African Americans and expecting them to just, oh, well, that's as much as we can give you. Just think about this for a second. Whether you're Democrat or you're Republican, whenever each party has been in power, they give huge tax breaks to big corporations. They fund big corporations opening factories in different states. They give all of these benefits. So because Emmy said something earlier about reparations and, you know, in terms of stuff that they could actually do. Now, if they wanted to do what Emmy said, it would have cost far less money than the amount of money that's spent propping up these poor African American communities. Emmy, am I correct or am I wrong, please?
I don't disagree with you. They could do more. But
they could have done a lot more if they wanted to. But the reason they didn't do that, there's a reason they didn't do that. There's a reason.
You said your point. The Republican Party will even do worse because I don't think they're in any way inclined to give you a nickel. So anyone that think the Republican Party is the way forward is delusional.
One of the reasons why we can't make much progress, should have done more, could have done more, or did do more, is because of our where you've got the judiciary, the executive branch, and the legislative department, or whatever you call this, the legislature. So it doesn't matter if you have a Democratic president and that person doesn't have or the House, you can't make much progress. So 50 years from now, when people are looking at a lot of guys and gals talking about why Obama was not able to do X, Y, Z. And if you don't look at it from the fact that after 2 years, he did not have the support of the Senate, it's going to seem very confusing why he, as the first Black president, did not do X, Y, Z. So with regards to everything we're talking about, if you look back, the fact that you don't always have the support of the Senate, or the fact that different parties sometimes control the different branches of government within each year, that's a big part of why progress is not made by each party. So in some years, a Republican president may have been able to do a lot for Black people, African Americans, but they don't get the support of their Senate counterparts who come from states where they don't want to see Black people do well.
Can I just chime in one sentence there
Sure.
to cut you? Sorry, I apologize. One thing that people don't realize is that there are Democrats that would not support certain bills in the Senate and the House of Rep that are for emancipating African Americans, even from the same party. When Obama was in power, it wasn't all Democrats that supported him. Some of the Democrats from the southern United States didn't support certain policies that he had, and they briefed against this. So I'm just trying, because the Democrats, we think they're this monolithic entity, but they're not. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, that's a very strong point. So if we look at the different presidencies and the parties that control the presidency,
I'm telling you this in rapid succession because all these states were already
is better suited for African Americans.
Most states in the country, Joe Biden has won
The Senate or the House of Representatives, regardless of who's in power. So simply empowering African Americans, if we're going to talk about only that demographic, I guess, because we're all, of African ancestry, empowering African Americans through systematic change is the only long-term solution, regardless of Democrats or Republicans. There's nothing. There'll never be, 20% of the nation or 50%. That power is never going to come from numbers. So it's about empowering them systematically through education and more business opportunities. Police reform has to also be a part of it, because you have a lot of people, African Americans, who are scared when a cop drives up to them. It doesn't really matter how educated you are if you are afraid in your own country. So reforms have to occur, both to economics and policing and other things that impact the daily lives of African Americans. But on a national scale, there's really not much we can do. We can, but it's not going to change for the next 10, 15 years.
Anyways, can we switch to what's going on with the election? Because
all right,
that's what we're here for. I think
that's fine.
on.
That's fine. What do you want to say? What do you want to say?
I think Florida is gone now, so I think
Who's won Florida?
I think Trump's winning it.
Has he won it? Is it confirmed?
93.
Let me check.
93% vote.
So all that money
And he's leading by
Okay, he's leading by 4%.
Yeah, so I don't
Okay,
think
so Florida's gone. You know what? It's not over. It's 91%, and if he's leading by 4%, let's see. He's leading by 4%, and there's still 9% to count. So my thinking is that that's not a done deal yet. But a big surprise though, Arizona.
Who got that?
Arizona is going for Biden at the moment, and that is a massive lead of what is this calculation? This is 8%, 8% margin. Sorry?
How many delegates on there?
Delegates 11. So that's a big one. That's still a big one.
How many delegates are both parties have now?
Where are we right now? We are Joe Biden is at 131 and Trump is at 108.
You're kidding.
Yep. Look, Biden has won this. It doesn't matter what, Biden has won this because he's going to win Pennsylvania. And if Trump cannot win Pennsylvania, it's over.
And it looks like he's winning Ohio as well.
He's winning Ohio, and Ohio went for Trump the last time. Am I correct?
Amy.
Yeah.
What's it on the ground over there? Is Trump willing to concede, or is there speculation that he's not going to concede over there?
He's not going to concede, man.
He's not going to concede. They're going to do some shenanigans.
I want to know what he thinks is on ground. What is he hearing on ground? Because he's over there. We're not over there. We here.
Well, look.
Think about it this way. Have you ever known Trump to say that?
I have, but I'm not.
Let's hear from Emmy. Let's hear from Emmy.
Context.
I don't want to hear from Coco. I want to hear from Emmy.
Hey, why do you want to hear from me? Because
I don't want to hear from you because you said I'm delusional. I don't have common sense. I'm an idiot. I'm stupid because I have different thoughts to you as an African. But it's okay, Emmy.
Well, in short, all indication is that Trump something that makes that very clear to me, there was an interview of his local station earlier today, and the reporter talking to her asked very directly. People are saying to call the election in his favor when we get close to midnight, regardless of the fact that by then. What do you say to that? And her response was to not respond. She pivoted from that particular the fact that he says that even though it's illegal in the state of Pennsylvania to count votes after election day, as long as there are postmarked. So I think it'll be very interesting if by midnight Biden, and he now says, well, because Biden is leading, I want us to keep counting. So I think he's in, with more Trump supporters planning to come and vote on this day, he would find himself leading. So that's why his plan after midnight fabricated. But from what we're seeing here, the pre-election day count, the early election count was so large, they will either be very close or Biden will be leading by midnight. So I think that's going to checkmate his original plan in his favor by midnight. So, in my opinion, we're going to look at Wednesday more than likely before we hear anything.
Yeah, I think Biden has done just enough to win this. I think he's done just enough to win this.
Yeah,
he's done just enough to win it.
But we're dealing with a narcissist. This guy.
This is nothing to do with narcissist. He has done enough to win it, and he's.
I'm not just saying that his Biden's not going to win.
Wait.
Talk about this guy conceding. We're not talking about winning.
Is he going to concede? I think I saw a news. I mean, I saw a news article earlier today where he said, "Look, I've not thought." You know, they asked him, "Have you written a speech? You know, a concession speech or a victory speech?" He said, "Look, you know, I've been out campaigning. I've not had time to think about that. You know," and he said, "Look, we're going to watch the numbers. The numbers are coming in good." You know, that's what he said. Have you
ever known Trump to say?
Well, do you know what? Until he does it, I'm not gonna second guess that.
No, you have to, because if someone
I'm not gonna second guess that.
If someone tells you who they are, you have to believe them.
Look, I'm not gonna second guess that. Is Trump gonna lose this election? Look, is Trump gonna lose the election? At the moment, as the results stand, it looks like he has lost.
Trump has told you what he's gonna do.
Look, as it stands, is Trump gonna lose? Looks like it's going in Biden's way. It's going in Biden's way. Is Trump gonna concede? I don't think Trump is gonna concede tonight.
Exactly.
He's not gonna do that, because that's not the kind of person that he is. Exactly. But is he gonna try and claim victory? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Well, most of the policies are right now, right?
Victory. There's no way.
He can't claim. He's not going to do that. So if anyone thinks
he was, that's what I wanted to know.
But he's not going to do. He said he will, but he himself knows that even in the 2016 election, it was still kind of a toss-up the next day. We were not sure the night of the election. Everyone went to bed, woke up, and then towards the afternoon, evening, it was then confirmed when Hillary Clinton lost Michigan and I think it was Pennsylvania, either Michigan, Wisconsin, or Pennsylvania, that was still yet to report at that time. And that's where it was a done deal.
Yeah, I think the reason that Trump was probably planning.
Yes,
there wouldn't be my audio again, huh?
Better now. What was that, Emmanuel?
I was saying Senate seat, Democrats up one. They've on.
Which one did they flip?
Colorado. Is it Colorado?
Colorado.
Colorado.
They've seated one of them, but that's
wow. Look, at a minimum, it's gonna be equal, and then vice president will be able to cast the binding vote.
Is Mitch gone?
Mitch is not gone. I think Mitch is gonna be re-elected.
No, Mitch was re-elected.
Oh, he was, yeah. I didn't expect him to be defeated. I didn't expect that.
Graham, is he still there, that little fucker?
You do know we're live, right?
I do. I don't care. I don't like that guy.
All right. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. I can't tell you what to do. It's a democracy.
Yeah, actually, that's a fact.
Yeah, it's a democracy.
Like Emmanuel said, you're not allowed to say things. Say
that. Little fucker. Let me say it again.
You're not allowed to say little fucker. You're not allowed to say.
Look, it's a free democratic society, so you can say whatever you want.
You said you're not allowed to say certain things, right?
No. Please carry away and say whatever you want. Sorry, say that again. Sorry, Bishop, say that again.
A little fucker.
All right. Okay. All right. Cool.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, that's cool. I really love that.
That word, I used a very great word for him. You know that deplorable that Hillary was speaking about? That's Lindsey Graham.
Yeah. Okay. I'm assuming you would never vote for him.
In the afterlife, even I wouldn't.
Okay. Right.
They wouldn't vote the Republican then. That's what
in the afterlife.
What's your thoughts, guys, on if Biden wins, the courts, the Supreme Court, by adding 3 more seats on there to make it 12?
I think they're gonna do it.
I think they should do it.
I think they're gonna do it because look, the Republicans have played party politics.
Yeah.
And it's only right that the Democrats do the same. Like, there's no dispute there.
Because it would be bad if they...
No dispute there. Because there's going to be problems moving forward in terms of policies and executive orders, which are going to be challenged in the courts. And because a lot of these courts have been packed with Republican judges, I'm not saying that's wrong, But at the end of the day, they're going to be expected to vote a certain way. Like let's just call a spade a spade.
Exactly. Yeah.
Call a spade, and that part I think I can accept. And what's important, I think, is that the Democrats, if they want to have control of the law and order agenda, you need to have control of the highest court in the land,
Yeah.
which means they have to expand the Supreme Court. And he has already alluded to that because he said he will set up a bipartisan commission
Right.
to look into it and report back. I think it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
It's not going to happen. It should happen.
Because if the Supreme Court decides to start, voting down certain pieces of legislation or amending it, then there's going to be a problem because, I mean, you've got three arms of government, right? You've got the presidency, you've got the executive, you've got the Supreme Court, and you've got the House of the Congress. So those three arms need to be in sync, right? And if one of them is out of sync, you have no power really. Because remember that when Obama was in power, he ruled mostly by executive orders because he couldn't get legislation through the Congress.
Trump is leading Pennsylvania.
Is he?
Yeah.
No, he ain't.
He is.
By how many points?
And Texas. Wow.
And Texas, really?
Yeah.
No, but you expect him to take Texas.
Oh no.
No, he's not going to take Texas.
Texas, yeah.
I expect him to take Texas.
I don't think so.
I expect him to take Texas.
Or Trump.
Yeah, he's going to take Texas.
See, if he takes Texas and Florida, that's mad.
But remember that Biden has taken other states which will counterbalance Georgia, Texas, or Florida. So, for example, Arizona in the last election went to Trump, but Arizona has gone for Biden this time. So that one has been flipped back.
How many college he has already now?
So he is now on. Where are we? He's on 135 to Trump's 108.
Ohio too close to call. Ohio is always
Get rid of that electoral college.
Ohio usually flips between Republican and Democrats, but I think this time
Iowa.
Republicans will hold that.
Well, Ohio.
Yeah, I think Republicans will hold Ohio. Yeah, Republicans will hold Ohio.
Well, that's what it's looking like, or is that?
No, that's what's gonna happen. Arizona has been flipped back.
What to do?
So I think the key here now, I think Michigan needs to flip. Michigan needs to flip back to Biden. Because if Michigan does not flip to Biden, there's a problem.
And he's losing in Michigan as well.
Yeah, there's a problem. If Michigan does not flip, because over there they've only counted 40% of the votes.
Yeah,
but it needs to flip. If it doesn't flip, then there's a problem.
Is Trump leading in Michigan?
Yeah, Trump is leading in Michigan with 42% of the count. Biden still has it.
How many?
Because remember that most of these votes that we're looking at right now,
it's already early voters.
These are early voters, so there are still votes to be counted. Millions of votes to be counted.
All the polling stations closed right now.
Yeah, so there are millions of votes to be counted tonight and tomorrow and the day after. So each state, you can't call each state, to be honest, you can't call those states yet because there are mail-in ballots that won't be counted yet, mail-in ballots from overseas army and soldiers serving abroad. So, and remember the US Postal Service right now is slow. So there's still a long way to go. There's still a very long way to go. A long way to go. Because it's those votes, those mail-in ballots. So at the moment, Trump might be up in certain states, but that's going to narrow because there are still mail-in ballots that they're still waiting to count because they can't start counting them until what's it called? Until the polling station actually closes. They're not allowed to count them. So in many states, they're not allowed to count them. So that's what's going to happen. But guys, I think we've done quite a bit here.
Mm.
You know, Emmy's laughing.
Yeah, I know it's pretty late for you guys.
It's pretty late. It's like 4 a.m. in London right now. So I think we can say to the people, to everyone who has watched us debate and go back and forth, you know,
having a big old charade.
it's all love. It's all love. It's all love. It's all love. It's all love.
We're having friends in arm's length now and all of that good
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. It's all It's all love. It's all love. You know. But anyway, look, I think we're not gonna know the ultimate winner for another probably a day or two, or even more, even longer. Yeah.
Right.
So, but yeah. So, Coco, do you want to do the honors?
Yeah, I mean, let's call it a night. I think it's been great. Thanks, Emmy, for joining us. This was a live version of More Talk. I think
pleasure.
we've debated and argued enough. Thanks everyone for watching. And
but we're still friends. We're still friends. So, guys, don't worry.
Everything we said, it was just you know, a political debate. That's what it was, really.
We would say that. You call it an intense fellowship. We were just.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Thanks for watching More Talk, and this was a live version. And yeah, come back for some more. Thanks, Emmy, for joining us. Emmanuel, Coco,
all right,
Health, and Bishop. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Hopefully,
take care.
We'll get a good result.
Amen. It will be what it is, you know, but we won't know finally for quite a while. So, but see you guys later.
All
right. Take care, Emmy. Take care, Bishop.
right.
All right. Take care, guys.